the radio on. I was driving, trees flew by, me and Dad were singing Little Runaway. I was flying, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a dream. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me, running down a dream. Running down a dream.
All the way from February to now June. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start the finale. My name's Jonathan Ramos, the voice of NR, alongside with me, Jarrett Lundberg. We're going to get ready to go ahead and dive right into it. We have a championship fight. We started this season thinking we will have maybe 8 drivers with an opportunity to get it done. Around halfway, it looked very certain that it was going to be all the driver of the 9. Well, Michigan changed everything. James Thurston tried to get it done on fuel strategy, just missed his mark, but locked himself into Chicagoland to compete for a championship. The time is now to see who will go number 1. Jarrett, what are we expecting tonight?
Well, what we're expecting is speed, high horsepower Gen 4 race cars in this 1.5-mile track, Chicagoland Speedway. Gotta say, good to be home. And I think we're gonna see a lot of good racing, a lot of comers and goers. Maybe even a fuel lottery could decide this championship. Oh yeah, and that whole championship with like 5 different guys in it.
Well, that's one thing we want to talk about. Let's start with the driver that is way back. Now, he didn't run the entire season because of scheduling issues, but clearly if he did, he would be the favorite. That's Anthony Burrows, driver of the number 62 machine. Burrows just went 3 in a row. Earlier this season, we thought, could we have 10 races with 10 different winners? Well, from what it looks like, we could. Then all of a sudden, Anthony Burrows decided to show up and just started winning. And next thing you know, we're looking at Anthony Burrows possibly going 4 in a row.
Yeah, and right now he is the long shot because he wasn't able to make every race, but he still is mathematically in this championship. He has been red hot as of late. You know what? Everything's been falling in his place so far. Who says that a championship can't?
Let's look at the drivers that are in an area of they may need a miracle, but they also definitely need a win. We're talking about Douglas Newbigging, and we're also going to go ahead and sweep in and talk about the number 42 machine of Muvik. Actually, let me rephrase that. Muvik is out. Let's start with Douglas Newbigging. He looked like a favorite on the short tracks. Big opportunity to get it done. He didn't capitalize. And all of a sudden on the intermediates, he started getting speed at Atlanta, Charlotte. Now we're heading in with Doug saying it's best case scenario to win this race, with Demos having an issue for him to win the championship.
Yeah, and when you look at him as well as Schmidt, it is going to take a lot, but it's not impossible. We've seen where this field will stay intact for most of the race, and then right at the end, calamity hits, and you see guys who run up front all night end up finishing below 30th, and that very well could happen, and that will welcome them right back in the championship fight.
Let's talk about Schmidt. That was the driver that just randomly crossed my mind when I was about to say who the other one was. He hasn't been a big show this season. William Schmidt has got 1 eTicket win to his name, the Ford 400, the first broadcast you did on this channel, and it was weird and wild how he went to victory lane. Now, with him not winning at all, this track could have come down to a closer winning it. Schmidt wins most of his races by not leading at all within the first opening segment, or should we say within the last 15 laps with about 3 or 4 to go. That's when he opens it up, walks away, wins the race. So keep an eye on tonight. Chicagoland is one of his best tracks. Will need to go to victory lane tonight as well. And the driver that has been chasing that tailpin all season long, James Thurston, 31 points back. We thought he was going to be a no-show. That's it. He's done. Atlanta, to me, showed, oh no, his season's already going to be in a bad scenario. Goes to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, wins it over there. Then little by little started becoming that consistent route, but couldn't stay as consistent as a 9. Michigan changed it big time. I still think he's in a must-win. In reality, he's not. But there is something we have to talk about, and that's where Demos needs to finish to go ahead and win the championship.
Right now going in, it's 11th, but really it's top 15. Demos needs to be in that top 15 range in order to win. In case the 14 leads a lap, the most laps, wins the pole, gets the fastest lap, gets max 60 points. We haven't seen that yet, but it is kind of due time for it to happen. He needs to be in the top 15, and we've seen, like I said, if top 30 is something that you can fall from leading to being outside of, top 15 we've seen all year has been really an issue for a lot of people, where you'll see guys run 5th, 6th, 7th, where Demos really has been running, and he's been lucky enough to not be involved in issues. If he is, we're looking at a brand new championship leader in the final race of the season.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. Can Demos do it? Right now, the odds say yes, but we know with how this season has gone, anything can change. You just had Basin almost lead the most laps at Michigan, get taken out, loses the race. You see what happened at Talladega. Top 2 drivers coming off of turn 4 wreck out. It's been a wild season. Now it's time to crown a champion. But before we do that, and we go trackside, let's talk about our picks for the final time this season. Jarrett, who do you got?
Well, I mean, we're going to start off with underdogs here, so I'm going to take somebody who is a huge underdog. He hasn't been to every race this year. He loves this track, though, and you know what? I think that speaks a lot. Had some relatively good speed in practice earlier today. I'm going with my co-host on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast, Darian Gilliam, that double zero.
I like it. I like it. This is one of his better tracks. You know, he hasn't won in a while, but it's all about consistency. And we've seen it before. Top 30 running drivers this speed, which is never good because you usually have 43 guys go ahead and attend the race. Somehow magically get up to 15, 14, 13, 12, all of a sudden top 8, top 9 because things happen during the race. This is a 400-mile race. As long as you're in it towards the end, you have a good opportunity to go ahead and show out. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and pick Jason Beckman. He hasn't won in a while. No one ever talks about him in NR Night. Usually it's kind of a mixed bag. They say he's okay. He's an average driver. But at the same time, with how things could go tonight, this horsepower package is different from Atlanta. This horsepower package is going to produce better racing. It's a day and a night cycle. The car is going to act different. I think Beckman knows how to adjust on the fly. That's why I have him down as the underdog.
And I think that's why he's a solid underdog pick. But if we're going to talk about the most solid guys out there, we got to get to our fast 4. And for me, I'm going to go a little boring here. This guy has been up front all year. He's been consistent. He's in the midst of this championship fight. He's the focal point of this championship fight. Give me Demos.
I can't argue. I mean, 9 races, it's just been him up front. And you look back to Daytona. Remember all the drama and all the wildness happened with Daytona? Demos still finished well. Remember the drama at Atlanta? Demos still finished well. Talladega, Fairgrounds. He just somehow is able to keep that car running. And I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. I would love to go ahead and say it's going to be someone else. But tonight, I don't see Demos wrecking out. I just don't. But I do see him possibly finishing 15th or worse because a lot of drivers want to win this race. Forever they talked about, give me Gen 4 Chicagoland. Such a fun car track combo. Day and night cycle. You have to worry about tires. You have to worry about strategy. It takes one mistake for this to change. You think it can't happen? Look at Wyatt Tinsley at Darlington. That was his race to win. That's his best car track combo. Misses the entry of pit road in the Southern 500. Speeds on pit road in round number 3. Lost the race because of it. Things can go wrong in the closing laps of a long race. Keep an eye out for it. I still think Thurston's got a shot at winning it, and it's still a long road to the checkered flag.
We've seen him before have issues with the internet staying up, so it's a very realistic possibility. He's going to be on pins and needles all 267 laps. But for me, somebody who's not in the championship fight, who I think is going to be up front tonight, is in the 42. Give me Muvik in 3rd. I think he's going to end this season, while not with a championship, on a very high note, very fast, has a lot of speed here. I'm picking the 42.
I think Muvik could have been a championship contender, including if things went right. You look at Bristol with how that ended at the end of the race. You look at Michigan. He could have won that Michigan race. Got tagged early on, got turned around. Next thing you know, Muvik's out mathematically. But listen, if we're talking about car track combos, we're talking about drivers that know how to get it done with this car at this track, whether it's in the day, whether it's at the night. This is Braden Muvik. This is going to be his track, whether it's a next gen, an Xfinity stock car, the Gen 4 900 horsepower. I like the pick, but I still think we have been keeping this driver out of the talking the entire season. Give me Joseph Armstrong. I am shocked he has not been to victory lane yet. I am very, very shocked. He has an opportunity to get it done tonight. Strategy is big. He may not be the fastest on the short run, but if we get 1, 2 green flag cycles, you will see this 20 up front. Keep an eye on him.
Well, earlier in the season, he was one of our top guys for the championship up in the points. He just got bad luck, got stuck with the wrong people, taken out. He has speed just about everywhere we go, so I don't see why he wouldn't have speed tonight.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see. We're going to get down to it right here. Back to the number 2.
Well, we got to focus a little bit on this championship in our picks, and I think we're going to have a very interesting night. Whether or not we have a change up front, I don't know. But I do think that Thurston is going to put the whip on and try, at least, to pry this championship away. I'm having him as my number 2 pick. He's going to be up front tonight. It's a matter of if he does close that title out.
I like the pick, but I'm going to go with someone that we've already chosen to be a big front runner. A big driver that knows how to get it done this season, but he's not going to go as number 1 just because I think drivers are better than him at this track. I know that's weird to say because he's already won 3 times this season. He's won an eTicket event at one of the hardest car track combos possible, but I'm going to go Anthony Burrows here for my number 2. Not number 1, mainly because I think Thurston and Demos, while they're head on a swivel, I think Mubbock's really going to give it their all. Joseph Armstrong as well, and it's so easy to make a mistake with this car track combo. He's gonna go number 2, but I would not be surprised if he goes number 1.
You got to stay with the hot hand, dude. It's not just 3 wins this year. If it was 3 wins, okay, I get kind of pushing him off, like maybe they were early in the year. No, man, this is 3 wins in a row he's done so far. 3 wins in a row in the last 3 races. So, because of that, I'm sticking with the hot hand. I say he ends up 4 in a row. I got Burrows winning this race.
Yeah. See, here's the thing about me. I'm a storyteller. You can ask anybody that knows me, and I can tell a damn story. Okay? You can ask this man right here.
He does.
I love telling stories. They're great. They're entertaining. When you get me going, I can't stop talking. And at the end of the day, I believe in the Cinderella story. I believe that you can come from the back to the front and get it done. Trevor Bayne did it in 2011. Tony Stewart did it in 2011, and I'm calling it right now. James Thurston is winning tonight. How? Being smart, how being fast, being skilled, and knowing when to bite. He just missed a strategy at Michigan. He gets it done tonight, and I believe James Thurston's going to go ahead and win that championship.
You're right, buddy. You do know how to talk a lot. But you see, you also have the 9 up there, too. He can't be in your fast 4.
He's in my fast 4, but I still believe in James Thurston. That's all I got to say.
I believe in him, too. That 9's fast, and that is a big point gap still to make up. But you know what? We'll find out tonight whether or not it happens.
Well, who do you have winning the championship?
I'm going with the 9, man. He's been all season. I know it's boring. I know you want to tell a story, but at the same time, he's been so fast, and it seems like everything's went his way. I know it's something like that.
At some point, you have to have a mistake go wrong. You don't go 9 races clean without a problem. You don't go to 2 super speedways without a problem. I'm telling you, the luck is going to run out. That clock's going to strike midnight, and I got the 14 going to victory. Now, we can talk about this all we want.
I feel like...
Guess what? Look at that time.
Yeah.
Under 30 seconds, and we're going trackside for qualifying.
Well, my last word here is you say, 9 races, and no trouble. That can't happen. You lived through the Jimmy Johnson era.
I did.
You went to his championships.
I went to 4
how
of them.
this could go. Yeah, 4 of them. You know how this could go.
Well, let's see how it will go. Let's go trackside as 43 drivers look to go ahead and take the green flag. Top of the board, who's that, Jarrett? James Thurston with a 29.86.
Doing what he
Hang
needs.
the banner.
Yeah, doing what it needs to do. He might hang that banner tonight, the real banner.
Well, qualifying will come to an end, and we'll go ahead and set our field. Now, let's talk about where you need to finish, because that's by far the most important part of tonight. James Thurston, if he wins this race, Demos has to finish 11th or worse, 12th or worse, 11th or better to clinch the championship, 12th or worse to lose it, unless he gets the pole, unless he leads a lap, fastest lap. That could all play a big role tonight.
Yes, it could, and that's the important part here. Is this pole, this 1 point, We've seen the difference 1 point can make. We've seen a number 14 win because of the difference of 1 point back in 2011. So this is very important for him to grab the pole on this, not just have a fast practice run, because leaving points on the board early like this, or leading laps, or getting a fast lap, that is going to make a huge difference by the end of the night.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Jason Beckman in the 5. Cheesette Chevrolet downstairs, down through 1 and 2. Heads out for qualifying. Hey, Chad Thornquist, hasn't been your season, but could you bring that Lowe's 48 to victory lane? Could be. High horsepower, he loves it. He's going to rally off turn number 4 while the sun sets in Joliet. We say welcome to the Chicagoland Speedway.
You know, if that 48 won, if I'm not mistaken, would be the first time the 48 has won at Chicago.
It would be.
Jimmy Johnson never got a win in his career there, so it would be it'd be different to see that 48 winning.
Thornquist up near the outside wall. Now you'll see drivers go top to bottom as this is a multi-groove surface. Well, he already hit the outside wall, and that's going to go ahead and blunder that one as we continue rolling on. Matt Swearge into the outside lane. He does not go top of the board just yet. That's Michael Mitchum. Top side, Gucci back to 4th. You got Austin, you got Wilkerson, Sanders, top 8. Everyone continues to change up. Wilkerson has not had the best season tonight, but he has had speed. Do you think he has a shot to go to victory? Because I was thinking about putting him inside my Fast 4, maybe an underdog.
He's got to stay in the race and not get shuffled back on a restart. Thurston, though, to the top of the board, he might have to beat him. Currently on the pole by about a 10.
Matthew Brower back to 4th. Max Swearage in on the inside, back in 7th. Hey, Darian up to 9th. How about that one?
Nice, and that 00 car.
The last time Darian Gilliam went to victory lane, and he hates when I say this, June 2021. We're talking the Gen 6 era of NASCAR. Well, he looks to get it done here. He's going to go 8th quickest.
Very solid qualifying run early. I see Todrick up to the 12th spot.
Drake Berry down the inside in that 29 machine. Nathan Scott up to P4. He's going to clock it on in. Scott's last win came from Michigan. It became a YouTube short and got 35,000 views. Go to victory lane. You might have another YouTube short on our hands.
And Basin to the top of the board in a near tie.
29.77, that's the time to be. Frank DeAngelis goes 5th and dumps it down into the grass. Ladies and gentlemen, we get ready to rock and roll just one more time. Thornquist, 3rd quickest. We still look around.
Daniel Mosteller, P20 on the board as we run. No, 21st now. Wow. That isn't something I think any of us expected. And watching here, the 3 go around, it's looking like everyone's sort of getting their runs finished up. Demos at the moment, 23rd on the board, and we still got guys qualifying. Now he's up to 5th. That's where we're used to seeing him, up towards the top 5 for Mosteller.
A lot of these guys are waiting to go ahead and get those times, which is interesting. You know, I'm really excited to see how this all goes down.
Shmela up into the top 5 now, into 5th. We'll see a couple others rolling here. Look at that beautiful 8 car. I remember this car running at Chicagoland Speedway. Back in 2005, their MLB car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. won this race. It broke at the time what was a long, 25 race win streak.
How about Kenny Real in this 78 machine? Now, no one talks about Real that much, but things could change here. Joey Stone up to 12th. William Schmidt, a championship contender. And the drivers to look at, we'll keep an eye on for you. Alexander Corky, it's been a while since he's gone to victory lane. That blue moon forward, left side of your screen, he'll go 12th.
And Avila is going to go 7th on the board as we run. And about a 10th between the top 8. 8th is Mosteller now. Look at this M&M's Ford rolling down.
Gavin Austin.
Yes, let's see how he does on this one. Had some speed in practice.
This is one of his best tracks. This is it. We've seen Gavin Austin lose races in the most spectacular way possible. Remember the first 900 horsepower race we had? It was at Charlotte. You were watching it. Gavin Austin was leading. You said to me, wow, he's doing well. All of a sudden, he slams the outside wall because his wheel came off the desk.
Well, that's what he did just now. Slam the wall. He's going to be 24th on the board. Kenny Real 36th. Murphy in 28th. And it looks like Basin will be your pole sitter. So another point off the board that helps Mosteller, who's going to start 8th. But Thurston starting on the front row, not letting up at all on the 9 car.
Well, things are gonna get interesting here tonight. You got 400 miles to go top of the board. James Thurston really wanted that extra bonus point. He could get it here very shortly if he just goes ahead and leads a lap, but he's going to be on the outside lane of Dylan Basin. Dylan Basin looking for his first win of the season with the Gen 4 stock cars. He's one of the best, and he'll be starting P1. You look back to Shamela up to 6. Tyler Tinsley usually pilots that 75, cannot get off of work to go ahead and race this one. Shamela says, let me give it a try. That's the first time that 75 has been in the top 10 all year, and it's already on qualifying. Vila up to 7th, D'Angelo's back to 9th. Scott getting ready to roll, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go green.
Now, I also want to say, keep an eye on that 15, Swarjan. He's been getting faster and faster as the season has went on.
Right.
He's somebody who might sneak up there and just bust this whole championship fight by getting a win tonight.
I would not be surprised. I mean, we've seen Swaggy do a lot of great things, and he was fast at Michigan. He just went ahead and made a mistake, sadly, and, you know, that race went up and over for him. But I would not be surprised that Max Swearigan has what it takes to go to victory lane tonight. But at the same time, he needs to stay out of that turn 2 wall. We've been laughing about it for almost half a year, how he loves to wreck in turn 2. You know where it started? Here at Chicagoland, lap 14 of the Chicagoland 500 e-ticket event that was hosted last year. So keep an eye on Swaggy as he looks to go top of the board. Nonetheless, keep an eye out for turn 2.
Well, how fitting would it be if he had a bit of redemption here tonight? But looking through your top 10 is Basin, Thurston, Thornquist, Schmidt, Swarjan, Shmela, Vila, Mosteller, Frank DeAngelis, and Scott in 10th position on the board. There's my underdog pick, Darian Gilliam, back in the 20th spot, aka Black Flags Matter. Get some BFMs in the chat for him as we're starting to get it rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to go green. As we get ready to go ahead and try it again. And our night in America feeling victories all year long. As we get ready to go green. Well, we're going to take a couple pace laps to get things started as the sun starts setting. Just one more time. Is it the time to see a championship unfold? Or do we see what we saw in Michigan, where things go wrong very early on? Chevy, Toyota, row number 1.
Well, we've seen this track both in the sim and real life absolutely have amazing finishes. We saw the end of 2019, Bowman versus Larson. We saw slide job. We'll see probably more of that tonight. We're going to see guys going high, low, in the middle as the night goes on. As the day goes in tonight, the track will change. So as we're rolling now, I don't think we're going to see the same people who start up front for the most part, maybe somewhat, stay there, because we're going to see people all night going back and forth.
Next time by, we will get the one to go. We're confirming drivers that did or did not make it. Then we did have an overflow of drivers that tried to race. Without 43 drivers, it's just trying to confirm who is in what number to take the green flag, so you don't have an influx of too many drivers that don't know what's going on. Next time by, the one to go, and the wait will come to a close. Does Marty Shamela get it done? Lightning in a bottle. He's back there inside row number 3. William Schmidt on the outside of row number 2. He was the final driver to win it in 2022. He looks to be the final driver to win the season 1 championship finale. He's on the outside. I love James Thurston up front. Where's Mosteller back in 8th? Has to keep a line back to 11th. And to the viewers watching back at home, you see that 9 duck below 11th. Championship implications right off the bat. Let's get ready to go green. Next time by, it's the one to go.
Now I'm going to say, keep an eye out. That 48 has had, like we've said, an awful season so far. Why not end it out on at least a good note after having such a struggling season?
It's going to be fun to see if he can go ahead and do it. Mason with an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready to go green. And our night in America feeling victories all year long. Let's say those magical words as we get the one to go. It's God Speed Drivers. You are go for throttle up, lights off this time by. Time to get it done. Dylan Basin just wants to go to victory lane. He's looking a trophy on. If you're a member, down the chat below, spam the 9 or the 14 to see who will go to victory lane, to see who will win a championship. Juliet has given us the best as we get ready to wind it up just one more time.
I gotta say, having gone there my whole life, this track will deliver. It feels so good to be racing here for the finale. Let's get it rolling.
Time to go ahead and lock and load, ladies and gentlemen. Pace car gets ready to make the hard left onto pit road as the fans stand up in the grandstands on the front straightaway. Toyota versus Chevrolet. Chevy back to Yoda in row number 2. Just one more time as we get ready to roll and fight for a championship. Let's light the fuse from Chicagoland. Down into turn number 1, Basin down on that inside lane, trying to go ahead and swipe the nose of the 14, but Thurston ran wide. It's Thornquist downstairs with Schmidt in the middle. They rally down off turn number 2.
Thurston with the run up top, though, gonna grab that second spot after being side by side with the 48. He is now diving for the lead.
He's gonna look for it downstairs. Basin gives him in the lane, but the Toyota should get the drive off corner exit. Red Bull will stay number 1 and lead lap number 1. They rally their way back to 1.
The battle now is for the 4th spot, the 15 and 79 side by side, but under a blanket is the top 3 as Thurston looking for more.
You got Chad Thornquist back to 3rd. You got Max Swearigan underneath, and he's going to slot himself into 4th position. Thurston knows he's got to go hard. He's right to the rear end as they work their way back to 3.
Now he's going to look a lane higher. Fall a little back, try and get the run off the corner. Exiting 4, getting a little loose, but getting a run.
He's trying to work that car the best he can, but he knows that car's got to be its best when they roll their way into the night. Thurston's going to duck it to the inside again. Basin is going to cross the bow and ride that white line down on the bottom. DeAngelis up to 6. Swearigan's still locked in 4th. Everyone single files back out, back to Scott. They rally back to 3.
Now side by side to the bottom. Thurston dives down in the corner each time while Basin's more gentle, but he gets the run off and keeps the 14 back.
Crowd back on their feet here from Chicagoland Speedway. Basin still will not give up that top spot. William Schmidt, though, has rallied back to the 5th position. Frank DeAngelis is there. He tags the white line. He rallies to the outside, still looking for a move. Nothing has changed up front as they work their way back to 3.
Still the 14 dogging the 83. The Red Bull Toyota gets a little higher up the track. The 14 getting the run now. Thurston looking for more, maybe half a car length between the top 2.
He's looking to get that drive off corner exit. Well, if you're just tuning in, we say welcome. It's rush hour in the championship race. Schmidt back to 5th. Vila's now up to that 7th position. Chad Thornquist has not applied the pressure. Thurston's down within an 8. Thurston's down within a 7. He's looking for a 6 as they work their way back to the west end.
Still follows in his tire tracks. The 83 looking a little lower, but now Thurston keeping it pinned to the white line, trying to get the run. Can't find an opening.
You lead 1 lap, that's an extra bonus point. That's what he needs to go ahead and think about here as he is consistently trying to get back to the rear end of Dylan Basin. Well, this time they both rallied down to the inside lane. Nobody has flirted with the outside lane just yet early on. Matthew Brower back to 9th. Kroenke has cracked that top 10. Scott back to 11th, and Mitchum in the 29 was peeking to the inside, but it's not going to be able to get it.
And Beckman way down into the bottom, had a great run in, but went nowhere with it. Now he falls in line in 13th.
Everyone continues to rally back to the start-finish line. Well, next time by, 260 laps to go. You're in the finale, but where do you slot out? Mosteller in 7th. He's under fire by Vila underneath. Not able to get it down off corner exit.
Doing what he needs to do to get this championship. Give himself some breathing room. Now sets his sights on the top 6 with DeAngelis.
Everything continues to slot on out. Some drivers look top, some look bottom. Jason Beckman may be under fire. That's Michael Mitchum on the outside lane. That brings it wheel to wheel. The bow ties battle back to 1.
But that 5 car going up towards the front gains a position for now, but still side by side to the back.
up, 8 down, and it's smooth sailing up front. Dylan Basin has lost the lead. He may have ran wide off turn number 2. That gives James Thurston possession. He will lead this lap this time by and will inch closer towards the championship. A long way to go, but it's the stepping stone to the top of the board.
All right, objective 1, lead a lap. Check. Now lead the most. He has to do it at this point. Mosteller in 7th, about a second and maybe a half back. But Thurston starting to run away with the lead.
Best case scenario, this race may go caution free, but you don't want that 7 to stay out too long, because if he stays out too long, he nabs a lap. Next thing you know, you're back evened out. Basin may want that lead back. He's down in a 16. He starts inching a little bit closer, working lap 10. It's still not over as the dogfight carries the 1.
This top 6 is broken away from the field now, but the 14 entering more aggressively gets room away from the 83, but that 83 has a runoff.
Matthew Brower back to 9th. Abraham Vila still back in that 8th position. They're away from the 7 as Mosteller is able to carry more speed down to 3 and 4. Frank DeAngelis, William Schmidt. How about Max Swearigan? Is going to go in a slot right in front of the fellow Toyota, and nothing will change back to the start-finish line.
But Schmidt needs about a miracle. He needs to get up there and lead some laps too to have a shot at this championship. DeAngelis way up towards the high side. Gonna get a run off the corner. What's it get him? Maybe a position.
Yeah, he's gonna try it right here down the back stretch. He's back nose to tail with Swearigan, but may have company underneath. He does. First driver up inside the top 8 to go ahead and try that outside lane and make up ground. Gets 1, looks 2, could get the drive off. He should. Battle for the lead is back onto the start-finish line.
Side by side, Basin got it that time. Another lap towards him, down low. Thurston gonna try and dive in again, but now the 83 with the high side hooked up might have it.
And here comes Chad Thornquist, another Chevrolet to go ahead and put his way in the swing. He's on that outside lane. Thurston will go from 1st to 3rd in half a lap as Thornquist has got that outside lane rolling deep.
He's getting aggressive with the entry, but it's costing him on exit. We see it again now as Thornquist gets by him, puts him in 3rd, and now Frank DeAngelis is only about 3/10 behind him.
Chad Thornquist hasn't had a great season. Would like to end it off on a high note. To the inside, there a Basin. The Toyota on the outside lane. The bow tie downstairs. Yaws out that left rear and will have to yield back single file.
Single file for now, but here is the battle for 5th. Swearigan and Schmidt right behind DeAngelis. They're fighting for it with Demos now catching up to this group as they race.
Well, it's like a rubber band. They stretched out, but they're going to come back together working lap 14. Thornquist would like the lead. Basin would like to hold on to it. 25's the difference as they work their way back to 1.
Yeah, the gap now only 2/10, but up high, the 69 car is screaming out of the corner. He has a huge run. He's going to catch these guys.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get in the wall for just a moment. A quick blink by the 9. That's why I went up and down the left side of your screen. We'll keep an eye on the internet. What the issue is, if the internet does not get better, a driver will be given an L1 penalty. Last thing you want to have is to go ahead and go to the rear because you can't hold it together on the bandwidth. Nonetheless, Thornquist is rallying. Thurston is back. He's on the inside, and it's 3 drivers back under a blanket.
That 48 now tries his hand at the top side. Gets it only to about a 10th now between him and Basin.
Everyone else carries it back to 3 and 4. 15 laps in, you can see tire wear is becoming a factor. This old worn-out surface of Chicagoland Speedway may be a reminder of what Atlanta used to be, as Swearigan has worked his way back to DeAngelis. This battle will get ready to rage on down to 1.
The 15 looks low as DeAngelis tries the high side again. Schmidt's gonna follow down low, but DeAngelis gets the runoff.
He'll get the runoff. He'll say, see it, maybe a way too good of a runoff. He didn't even have full control of it coming off corner exit. Thornquist down within a 17. Was the 14 at 1 point. Speaking of the 14, Thurston stays right in the tire tracks and doesn't change. Schmidt to the inside. They battle to the line.
Not going to happen this time, though. They go single file among about the top 8 or 9, maybe top 10. But down through 1 and 2. 79 car looks a bit lower than Swearigan, trying to get that runoff underneath him. And wow, DeAngelis is loose.
He had a handful, and it's back to 3 drivers under a blanket. The lights are on. Give it 3 wide down into turn number 3. DeAngelis goes wide, puts Max in the middle. Schmidt just wants it to stick downstairs as the lights start glowing on the race cars. DeAngelis nearly lost it off corner exit, but is able to rally back to the start-finish line.
Good on them for keeping it off each other. Nearly caused a 3-car wreck, but again, the 69 and 79 almost get into each other. And DeAngelis going to try and get right back at it on the high side, loose, but still keeps that 5th spot.
Goes top, looks bottom, back wheel to wheel. That's heading to 3 and 4. It's DeAngelis downstairs, Max Swearigan on the outside lane. The wheel to wheel, it will carry back to the high banks at 3 and 4. Mosteller has it in a perfect view heading back to the start-finish line. They're getting aggressive up front. Do you lay back? Do you continue on forward? Every spot will mean something for the 9.
That 69 car has to scare Mosteller with how loose he is. He is almost losing it. Look again, almost every corner. He needs to get by him and keep his championship safe.
This will be an extra spot if he can indeed find a way around Frank DeAngelis. They go back to the inside lane. Frank's in the middle, giving that extra daylight downstairs. Mosteller will continue to watch on. Well, James Thurston has found his way back in the 2nd position. Thornquist will yield back to 3rd, all still chasing the blue Red Bull of Dylan Mason.
And he needs to catch that Red Bull because he needs to lead more and more laps. Look how loose they are, though. As the run goes, they're only going to get worse.
Nothing has changed. Back to 3 from what the last time we talked about, but Frank DeAngelis is back under fire. Mosteller looks to the inside. We right on board with him.
And he's just going to keep it glued to the bottom, try and at least stay with them. Nope, he's got the run down to the apron.
Yeah, he's going to try to get out of town quickly. You can see Frank still having a handful just back to the start-finish line. 69 wide, 9 down to the inside. It's back wheel to wheel, the battle for the 6th spot. Brower has worked his way forward. Vila's kind of just inching with no change. Frank will get the drive off corner exit, call it 3 wide right behind him.
Lots of racing throughout the pack, but now that 57 Kroenke underneath Brower, fighting for the last part of the top 10.
Yeah, it's going to be Nathan Scott right behind him. On the outside, Brower has got it all lined up. Abraham Vila, not the greatest season. A very great-looking season, but nothing has changed in the ways of finding victory lane. He's back to the outside, still struggling. William Schmidt, wheel to wheel, that's with Max Swearigan.
That is the battle for 4th now, and the 79 has it. Behind him, the 69 has put some distance on Mosteller. So they're still fighting, though, for that 6th spot. 22
out of 267. This race has got going. And now you're in that carousel look of, okay, who didn't save the tires early on? Clearly, Frank's having a trouble with that right rear. It's clearly been off corner exit, a trouble for him. He's back to that outside lane, and now he's not going to leave it because he knows his best effort to keep the positions he has is getting the run off corner exit. Vila back to 8th, will be under fire by Brower. Scott will then be under fire by Kroenke, but Kroenke's been struggling the last 5, 6, 7 laps. Keep an eye on it as this race continues.
But up front here, top 3 coordinating back together now. Thurston only about a quarter second behind Basin.
Well, that top 5 has switched up a lot this entire race. We're watching the top 3 now. But why does it say zeros on the right side of your screen? Well, guess what? They went back to the starting spots that they had for the actual race. Nonetheless, you can see drivers are back to struggling. Chad Thornquist was dirt tracking it on the high banks of 1 and 2. He rallies it back on the bottom. He's looking to hold on to either A, see a caution, or B, just get to the green flag stops.
Well, really quick, a good shout out here for Stanley now. It says he's up 13 spots to the 13th position, so good run for him so far in this race. Burrows, your very, very long shot at the championship back in 15th as we run.
Yeah, not the greatest start for Anthony Burrows, but he knows with a track like this, you got to think long-term. Long-term games, that's just going to go ahead and win you it all. You got Schmidt on the outside lane. You got Swearigan on the bottom. What's shaping up behind? Vila, Brower, that's back wheel. There's been a lot of racing in the middle of the pack. Not uncommon for Chicagoland, including with this type of aero package. This track is meant for high horsepower. It's meant for struggling on the long green flag runs, which is why it was a staple in the early 2000s. The thing is, though, if you're a driver, you don't want to be wheel to wheel all the time when these tires start to wear.
No, you don't, and you're seeing that wear. All of these guys really loose off the corner, barely keeping it under control. You're watching again the battle for 6. It hasn't really let up. Only about 2 car lengths has been the biggest difference between these 2 cars.
27 laps into the 400 miles that is scheduled. Thornquist is back to a 9-1. Thurston up to a 4 as Basin has been forced to jump to that outside lane. He's another one that's lost that right rear. Almost the same type of track. These are the cookie cutters that we're talking about. Kansas. Track type, a little bit different when it comes down to how old the surface is, but Dylan Basin did a great job last time went to Kansas and NR night, and no doubt about it, he's shown that skill from the Heartland to bring it back here in Chicagoland.
Looking like the battle for 3rd heating up now. Thornquist under fire from Schmidt. You see him now right behind him, only about a car length, different lines. Down low goes the 48, 79 towards the wall, and Schmidt's going to try and get the run off to get past him, and boy, does he have one.
Hook, line, see ya. Chad Thornquist will go back to 4th. Max Swearingen back in 5th. Well, Mostiller finally found his way around Frank DeAngelis. Frank rallies back to the 7th spot, but nonetheless, you can see all these drivers going back to the bottom. Now, why is that? Well, look at the track. If you go back to the start of this race, you see that it wasn't as rubbered up. The bottom has very much rubbered up as we get ready to roll our way into the night.
And Frank DeAngelis has went down pit road now. Wonder if it's just a handling issue or if he's trying to play a strategy in this last race of the season. But up front, the 83 and the 14 are starting to pull away from the rest of the field. Schmidt now in that 3rd spot. You're seeing the different lines being used.
Basin on the outside, Thurston in the middle. I think that outside move is almost like trying to get air when you're underwater. That outside lane will help you out just a little bit, but it'll force you on pit road long term. Now, the track's going to come in a little bit better once we get into the nighttime. The speeds will get quicker. The multi-groove racing will definitely be amped up, but you can just see even Basin struggling off corner exit. The 83 hits that wall. James Thurston will open it up and will look to lead the most laps.
Well, and something else to note about being so loose, and will probably make it even more difficult, is Chicagoland is one of the few tracks that you really don't go straight at all on. You have the corners, you have the tri-oval, but the back stretch of this track is a giant curve. So you're watching these guys racing side by side. It's only going to get worse for them as the night goes and as the run goes.
Matthew Brower on the inside lane. Alexander Kroenke on the outside lane. Brings about half a car length off the outside wall, but will look to get the roller coaster ride off corner exit. Put some distance between him and the 12 as they work their way back to 3.
Well, don't look behind them, but Joey Stone is knocking on the door of the top 10. He's back in 11th in that 6 car up top, that Ice Age Ford. Keeping it right near the wall, you see the 6, and right behind him, you see Stanley.
Now, Nathan Scott was always a driver that was known for racing in NASCAR heat, that heat era. One of the things he said he didn't like about it, there wasn't enough tire wear. I said, well, guess what? You have a championship race coming up that is all about tire wear in some cases if you don't get a shootout to the end. Right now, he sits P10, and as a driver that's still very much new to the system, new to the simulator, he's not doing half bad. Really trying to wait for this race to just carry the way he wants. That Ford just huddled inside the top 10.
And you're seeing with the intervals now, people are starting to pack together a little bit. You got your 2 leaders, but then you got a pack behind him. You got this pack here at the back half of the top 10, fighting for positions. Looking at Vila and Kroenke side by side for 7th. Goes back in line. So you're starting to see who's got what at this point of the run.
Matthew Brower in the middle. Nathan Scott back to the outside. Abraham Vila back under fire as Alexander Kroenke has looked to the inside. Day into night cycle. I loved it when I went to Homestead, and we still love it now. I want to say thank you to Eric W. for dropping down the $20 super chat as they work their way back to 1.
A full second now between the 2 leaders. You watch the battle, though, for 7th as it heats up more. Kroenke looking up on the outside. Vila, real loose off, stacks him up, and now goes Brower to the bottom trying to get a spot.
Looks, peeks, does he have it? Yes. Does he have to slot in front of the Ford on the outside? He better do it quick because guess what? Time just ran out. It's back wheel to wheel off turn number 4 as Alexander Kroenke will slot it back across the start-finish line. Downstairs, still Brower holding on with the wheel to wheel.
Now he's going to get that run on the bottom. Kroenke's going to try and get that run on the top side in the 57. Try and pin him down so he can't finish the run. Oh, so close. but he clears him.
Nathan Scott looks to go ahead and take advantage of this one. He puts the Taurus to the inside lane. Kroenke is still relegated to that second lane and should get the drive off. So Scott's move downstairs won't work out, at least as of now. Wheel to wheel it's going to work out. How about Joey Stone behind as he has that 62 machine of Anthony Burrows just stuck on that inside lane. Some changes here, 3 wide. Turnquist on the outside, Swearinger on the bottom.
And this is the battle now for the 4th spot as Schmidt's ahead of both of them. 3.5 seconds behind the leader. They go past some lap traffic a little earlier, but they're starting to spread up. But don't look now, right behind them, the 9 of Mosteller.
Looks to the inside, holds it downstairs, Abraham Vila, Matthew Brower, Alexander Kroenke, all single file with one target. That's the drivers in front. What's next will be that 9 machine. Mosteller kind of in no man's land. Has drivers in front, but no pressure from behind. He will watch to see what goes on in front as Turnquist will get the drive off corner exit, pulling the 15 at bay.
Well, important to those who are new, you need to note this down. There are no fast repairs. So that 9 gets damaged, the rest of the night he's going to have problems. If he's knocked out, he's knocked out. And you see these two racing hard. Turnquist, Swearinger going for the 4th spot. They get together, they could end his night.
Mosteller back to 6, Vila back to 7, Brower back to the 8th position. James Thurston has really lost that grip hold on Dylan Basin. It's a 1.5 seconds, but good news, green flag stops are coming. We're on lap 38, so continue to keep an eye on that bubble. Turnquist back to 4th with Swearinger looking to the inside. It may be another wheel to wheel, but Mosteller now has closed on in as Vila has jumped to the outside lane.
Jump to the outside, you see how loose they all are. And oh, we got a car there. That's Frank DeAngelis at the bottom, stopped in the track. Caution is out. First yellow flag of the night. We've seen a few people already go down pit road from the back of the pack. A lot of people just going straight through.
Yeah, he went right to pit road. You can see the 69 kind of just on there. And the caution will wave for the first time tonight.
What happened there? He was just parked in the middle of the trial.
All the way in the back.
In no man's land.
It was on that outside lane. Now, he already got damaged before for something we possibly missed. See, some of these drivers are heading back on the racetrack. Either they hit the outside wall or they just didn't save the tires the way they needed to.
Watch him towards the top.
He's going to lose that rear end.
Yeah, he's loose. What is
Or right into the 8 machine.
doing there? Wow.
And that would go ahead and bring out the yellow. That's Marty Shimela in the 8 machine.
And that is going to ruin a lot of people's runs tonight. Maybe they get the wave around now with this, but that is going to change strategy up a lot.
Well, we're not able to see it because he was too far back, but we did see the incident with Frank DeAngelis. So nonetheless, the caution will wave. This will cycle things out as we get ready to try it again. Pit road, it's wide open. Basin's going to lead him down.
Coming on down, all the leaders are coming in. They got it. We're all at the end of the run, but this will be important. How you get out of pit road, where you set up on the restart, could determine the way your season ends.
41 laps into this race, caution's out first time as we roll down on in. And yes, very important stop here. Dylan Basin, one of the first ones in the stall. Turnquist is going to have a slow stop. Overshot it by just a little, but we'll go ahead and get the right sides up. Everyone gets ready to shuffle it back again as we get ready to roll. Left side's heading up for James Thurston as we get ready to watch the race off pit road. Dylan Basin will go ahead and win it off. Thurston back to second, and we will get ready to try it again. Joey Stone is being shown as your race leader. Could go ahead and change as a whole. Man, that's a lot of wave around cars right in front of them.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know, maybe he's playing a strategic move or something like that. But maybe he just missed the pits. I don't know, but Basin should be your leader when we cycle through here.
And there's the 83 machine. So we'll go Toyota, Chevrolet, at least that's what we think as row number 1. Toyota, Chevrolet, Toyota should we say, locked out, back to row number 2. Chevrolet lockout, back to row number 3. Matthew Brower, heck of a stop. He's going to be possibly relegated up to 7th, depending on what Joey Stone does here. Nonetheless, wave around will be coming this time by, and we'll see the one to go. I think he beat the pace car out. Is he getting to pit road? They already started their green flag cycles. No, they're not. They're telling him to go to the tail end of the longest line. He was one of the lucky dogs. So Joey Stone goes to the rear end. And James Thurston will go on the outside as we get ready to try it again.
But you see, that's where having a caution in at least the start, middle of green flag stops can affect how your race is going. Joey Stone was right up there fighting for a top 10 spot.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's going to argue this.
Yeah, is he contesting it?
Well, depending on if he contests it or not, we will possibly have to delay that green. As he looks to go ahead and hear from race control, he's down on the apron.
Well, if you're lucky dog, you should be in the back. I don't know how that all goes. If he was on the lead lap, though, and stayed out after pitting,
they're going to review it, so we're going to extend the yellow.
All right. Because this could change a lot. A lot of different people being in different lines could change who has a good restart, who has a bad one. So we'll look forward to see how this ends up.
So they're going to cycle out this lineup and get things ready as we work lap 42. A lot of exciting things to look forward to this week. If you're a fan on the YouTube side, NWP, that's going to be tomorrow. There's no NR night this week. I will be in Volusia Speedway this Saturday calling a dirt race down in Florida, my home state. I know I live now in Nashville, Tennessee, but still full grown. You finally get one over there. You can watch it live on Dirt Vision. And what channel is the NWP on?
Black Flags Matter. Darian Gilliam, he's in here. Yeah. So be sure to watch that. We'll go over everything in the off season, or off weekend, I should say. Feels like a season. As well as the season so far, Sonoma, our top 75 list, and whatever inevitably will break tomorrow. Probably another penalty, knowing NASCAR.
Who knows? Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. Can't wait to go ahead and check that one out. That's at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And for Dirt Vision, if I'm not mistaken, we go live at 7 o'clock East Coast time to kick the dust up down in Volusia, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, Basin, Thurston, Schmidt, Swearingen, Fast 4. Let's get ready to try it again. Braden Mubbick from 40th, because we had 43 drivers tonight, to 14th and 40 laps. He's the biggest mover so far tonight.
I'm feeling pretty good about having him in my Fast 4 up towards the front. We'll see how he does on this restart. Justin Champagne made his way up as well through the pack.
Time to line it back up. Toyota, Chevy. Toyota lockout back to row number 2. Chevrolet lockout back to row number 3 as we get ready to try it again. Kick the dust up one more time as the sun sets here in Chicagoland. Base in the drive, heading down into 1.
Great restart for the 83 there. The battle now is for second. Schmidt looking low. Thurston up high. Thurston's going to get the run and try and get the lead. Loose out of the corner, but keeps it out of the wall.
He had a handful. That's the Cold Tires making the move. Thornquist to the inside. The bonsai move there on Burrows will keep it wheel to wheel. That's Swearingen in the mix. That's the Dynamo Stellar downstairs. Schmidt on the bottom trying to contest the driver in second.
And Thurston not giving up either. Almost dead even at the finish line. Now jumping into 1.
Mosteller is there in 4th. Looks right to the rear end of the 14. Max Swearingen on the inside lane trying to make up ground. 2 championship contenders in the Fast 4.
And that's not who Thurston wants to see in his rear view mirror, even if he does clear Schmidt. Now looking for the lead with Basin, only 1-3 between them.
Mathematically, call it 3 championship contenders in the Fast 4. That's Thurston, that's Schmidt, that's Mosteller behind, all chasing the Red Bull back to turn number 1. They cross to the top, to the bottom, to the inside lane.
And now all of them are in a line behind the Red Bull.
Oh, he cut the apron.
Very much so, but he doesn't get a run from Thurston behind. Demos gets the run down low for the moment, but now single file out the top 5.
Schmidt to the inside, looking for an opportunity. Not able to get it just yet. They've all single filed out, but Anthony Burrows is a man on the move. He's on that inside lane, and he's hauling. Vila back to 7th. Brower back in 8th. All single file it back out as they work their way to 3.
All fighting for the bottom. Whoever can hook up that high side will have a huge advantage. Schmidt now looks low. Doesn't have enough off the corner. Maybe he does. looking low for second underneath Thurston, diving down to 3.
He's got him right here, wheel to wheel, and the crowd goes back on their feet. William Schmidt, another driver that needs to win this race to win the championship. He's a fan of the underdogs in NASCAR. He's considered one of the greatest underdogs. Nonetheless, the story, but here comes Mostello to the bottom. He puts himself in third. That's back to 1 and 2.
Doing everything he needs to do tonight, past his competition, looking for more, gets a little loose there, but he might be able to set up a pass into 3 now.
Looks, peeks, not gonna get it. Schmidt in the middle, lined over Basin. Basin has just got it yawed down to the inside lane as he brings the daylight back off corner exit. Brower's gonna overtake the one Avila, but Thornquist has dropped like a rock with Ethan Stanley lined up back to 10th. They roll their way into 1 and 2.
Not a good restart now for the 14. Up top, Mostello gonna dip his toes into the high side, and he gets the run.
He's got it right here. William Schmidt's got to hold on, but that 9 just wants to lead a lap. He goes to the outside lane. He knows one can make the difference. Mason's got it down the bottom. This could be a change in the championship swing. Back wheel to wheel, nearly contact. Mostello top of the board.
He's got the lap led one step closer to the championship as he clears the 83 into 1.
Back to 1 and 2. The 9 checks out, decides to not look back. Brower back to 7th. Burrows back in 6th. Vila back in 10th as they've all lined it back out. No pressure for now, but we're still working just lap 50.
But Mostello is starting to build a gap, but that gap's being eaten into off the corner now. Basin 1-8 behind.
Lined up, back to the line, 51 out of 267. Champagne back to 12. Kroenke back to 11th. Muvik still back in 13th. Lescott back in 15th. Still time to change. But Justin Champagne, another one that everyone said had a good shot at winning the championship. Well, he hasn't won anything this season. Looks to go ahead and end on a high note. He's back to 12, back wheel to 3.
Hasn't won since Talladega, now side by side for the 4th spot. Swearigan gonna try and get it away from Thurston. Thurston is fading back into the top 10.
Max Swearigan in 4th. Oh, Burrows really just lifted the 14 off the ground, and it was just a near miss that brings the luck.
3 wide.
3 wide in the middle. Here comes Thornquist charging back down off corner exit.
That 14 going nowhere fast. Side by side. 3 and then 2 behind them. 5 tires under a blanket, make it 6.
Burrows on the bottom just wants to hug the white line. Thornquist wants to make it 4 wide. That's not going to work as he squeezes to the outside lane. Ethan Stanley will chug along and roll his way into the 5th.
2 by 2 now. Thurston just trying to get some space to himself. Burrows down low. Thornquist way up towards the wall. Brower all with them.
Trying to slice in front of the nose. He does. Run to the wall. That's Kroenke. Sparks up the right side. Holds on to it. Thornquist just shut the door on the 62 as they work their way back to 3.
Thornquist going bold and brash tonight. Looking low in 7th. Wanting 6th from Thurston. Thurston just trying to fall into place. Brower getting loose action everywhere.
He just pancaked that right side, but keeps it rolling in the right direction. Ethan Stanley, a man on the move. He's up to the 3rd lane. He flirts with the 4th lane. He looks to get the drive off corner exit as Schmidt's just watching on. Wheel to wheel now with Max Swearigan.
You're seeing the difference between the high side and the low side. Down low goes everyone, but that 35 gets in light. Gets the run off. That might get him the 4th spot. Oh, he's in the wall.
He's going to tag that right side. That Wawa forward may go ahead and yield, and James Thurston will find his way back up into the top 5. Thornquist is behind him. He got a second to breathe to regroup as well as he starts that track forward.
But Stanley's still going to try for more. Can't get it now side by side with Thornquist for the 6th spot. 48 looking low. Blocks Burrows all the way down to the line.
Lines it up to the inside lane. It's going to work. Brower back to the middle. Burrows wants to squeeze his shot. Can't get it done. Vila into the outside wall as Braden Muvik looks to the inside of the body armor 42. Lap 56 at 267.
Brower trying to find a place to go. Keeps getting caught up behind these battles. Behind him, Kroenke in 10th. Champagne and Muvik behind them.
Everyone continues to work their way back down the backstretch. What has changed? Basin is back on the move. He was under 5 at one point, down to a 4-1. Single file. Do they calm it all down? Maybe not yet, as Ethan Stanley is regulated to the outside lane.
Right towards the wall, but he tries to get that run on the high side over Burrows. Not going to happen, it looks like this time by. Ahead of him, Thornquist going everywhere.
Burrows downstairs, crosses the bow, shuts the door on the Ford. The Dodge of Matthew Brower is there. He looks to the inside, can't get it done. Wheel to wheel, you got Kroenke behind, you got Justin Champagne to the inside lane. That's wheel to wheel carrying the 3.
The Don Julio Chevy fighting the Blue Moon Ford. Alcohol battle in the top 10 now. And it's going to go to Kroenke for now. But look down low, diving down to Stanley up in front of them.
He's back to 8th. Back to 9th, looks Brower. You got Kroenke still stuck on that outside lane. He should get the run off corner exit here. Yields once, maybe twice. Champagne's not going to get him. Really make contact as they both hold on to it, heading back to 3.
Make a little more contact. Entering into the corner now. Staying low with Champagne. Up high is Kroenke. Kroenke going to fall back into the clutches of Mubik. And they battle on.
Here comes Dylan Basin, down within a 10, down within a 9, flirts with an 8 as they work their way back to 1 and 2. The Red Bull goes wide, Mostella to the inside, the dogfight for the lead of 1 and 2.
Basin might be the best car out there tonight. Demos trying to keep that lead, leading as many laps as he can. Right up to the back of him, looking low goes Basin. Gonna get the run in, lead for now, but does Demos get the run?
These guys shut that door and Schmidt is there. Mosteller goes back nose to tail. Basin the drive off with the wheel to wheel, not changing behind. Dylan Basin will lead this one, but Mosteller wants it back. They work their way to 1.
He's looking low but doesn't have the position. Behind him, Schmidt trying to put pressure on the 9. Top 5 under a blanket.
That's why they line up back down the back stretch. Burrows to 6 under fire. Call it again. 3 wide, heading back to turn 3. Stanley wide. Put Champagne in the middle. Matthew Brower just holding on as Schmidt works his way up the second off corner exit.
Up to second. Now Demos to third. Swearigan behind him with Thurston putting pressure on him as we have the greatest battle for 8th in the back.
That's Stanley dropping like a rock. He hit the wall off 4. And then now single file to the outside lane with pressure on the bottom. That's Braden Mubin back into the top 10. Looks wide, can't get it once. Looks wide, can't get it twice. Drives it deep to 3 and 4 and puts the pressure on the 12.
This is 9th through 16th spot, all trying to put pressure on each other, make their way up towards the front. That's Douglas Newbiggie in the back of this group, one of your championship contenders, making himself known for the first time tonight.
William Schmidt wants to lead and not look back. Gap was a 13, but lost it to the center of the corner. Mason might get the drive off. He was loose coming off corner exit, and they're back to even and back out. But a switch you can see is TRD going top of the board.
And those top 2 machines are running away from the rest of the field. Schmidt right in the tire tracks of Basin, maybe a car length or 2 between them. Here's the fight. Now behind them for the 3rd spot as Swearigan trying to put all the pressure on Demos.
Swearigan back to 4th. Thurston back in 5th. Burrows will not leave that 6th spot for now as it's still a mosh pit in the rear. That's Ethan Stanley on the outside lane trying to hold on. That's the 97 machine of Nathan Scott trying to hold on. William Schmidt is inching into that lead as the Toyotas get ready to dogfight back for the lead.
Schmidt now only about a 10th behind the Toyota right in front. This is what you're seeing. The gap itself going down into 1 as we have a huge dogfight behind them. They're basically just following each other's tire tracks, but looking low. Might have an opening.
Here comes Schmidt down off corner exit. 9 the gap. Looking 8 the gap again. He almost played limbo and got the 83 off the toes, but Bason's able to keep it in gear and track his way back to 3 and 4. No change in the top 2 back to the start-finish line.
And you're seeing it's bringing the whole pack all the way back to them. Now, the battle for 5th behind them is between Thurston and Burrows side by side. 62 looking low and Thurston looking high.
Max Swearigan back to 3rd. Burrows is there. This is not what Thurston wants to do, and that's fall back. He might line up here if he just looked to the inside. Chad Thornquist won't make that possible. He looks downstairs. He drives it in deep, and Thornquist will go ahead and get that spot as Thurston runs wide.
Champagne underneath him now. Thornquist, but he just shuts the door on him there, and now Mubik enters this battle.
Yeah, he wants to go ahead and put a hat in this ring and has a pretty good shot. Oh, there's one sideways. What a save for James Thurston.
Oh, he's crashed with Champagne up top.
And the caution is going to wave.
And that might be his season. I think it is.
A lot of damage on the nose. And a lot of damage on the left side.
Probably hear a pin drop right now. We'll watch.
He had it saved. He had it completely saved until he didn't.
We're watching the replay, and
he got into him. He got it.
Champagne, yeah, Champagne and him got together, and then he got right into Champagne.
Oh, man.
And he's flying up through there.
I don't think he's too happy.
I think he might end the 38's race here.
Well, we're about to find out. Now, these cars aren't completely built like tanks. That right front is what's worrisome. I don't see that wheel moving.
Where is he going? Because I don't see Champagne.
Not sure, but I don't see any problem just yet. Let's look back to see what happened. This is from TV1.
He gets into the 38.
Yeah, he got into him. That's on him.
Yeah, and then just basically finishes the job.
And now all Demos has to do now
he's got to
keep it clean, because you still got Schmidt there, and he's right now a driver that's pressuring for the win.
Well, doing the math now, though, it's, you know, it's going to be a lot more difficult to beat that 9 car. As we're trying to check right now where Demos has to finish to clinch it.
Wow.
And
we'll see if they repair that 14. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Thurston is in. Now with this new Gen 4 model, they'd still have it as if you stay on pit road long enough, you can't get that car fully repaired. But it may be down a little bit on RPMs, which may force him to not run that inside lane. Dylan Basin will win the race off pit road. But things are going to have to go in the right direction from here on out for that 14 if he cannot go ahead and refire it.
Yeah, right now what Demos needs to do is he's going to be, I believe, in the 2nd spot once it cycles through. He's just got to finish this baby off tonight.
Now you look back to William Schmidt. He's in 7th, but not 1st. He's going to have to go ahead and run up there, and we'll keep an eye on that 14. Lot Machine still rolling around the racetrack. There's Champagne. He's on pit road. There's Panetto on pit road with right side damage. He's still there. He may lose a lot. We're going to watch it. Here comes the pace car. Ryan DeVue on that outside lane.
Does he just try and limp it around under caution and come back in? How does this roll? It looks like he's going to stay there for a while.
Yeah, I think he may lose a lap, maybe 2. But then again, with 2 cautions are in the books, we're lap 68. We're not very far into this race. We're kind of closing in, closing up halfway.
Oh, a little under 200 laps to go in this.
We're going to hear it, and here comes the pace car. So James Thurston will go a lap down as Justin Champagne will go ahead and show his displeasure. We'll park right in front of the 14. I think Thurston knows for sure that he lost this race, if he loses this race, because of his mistakes, but we'll get ready to go ahead and try again. So we'll get the lights off next time by as we get ready to roll. Nicholas Hook looks to go ahead and get the wave around, drivers as well. What an interesting line as Justin Champagne. Just insult to injury. He's not happy either because he wanted to win the race. I think Champagne's going to be fine. He didn't have that much damage. But he also likes to let everyone know who's number 1. We've heard interesting sound bites from Justin Champagne this season. My favorite quote is, "Keep your damn name out your mouth." You got to put an M and an F in that one, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
More fries. Well, looking at how they're going to be cycling through here, you do also have to watch for Douglas Newbigging. He is also as far back as Schmidt in this race, and he's been making his way up towards the front. So not necessarily over just yet, but it's looking like that 14 might go another lap down.
Yeah, that's 2 laps down. We'll get lights off here, so it's not best case scenario whatsoever. I mean, he will need to have a miracle. He will need Demos and that 9 machine to just absolutely get eaten up and spit out on this restart.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure where Demos has to finish in this race, but we have to imagine that after what happened there, he's probably a lot happier at this moment up in the front row.
The 9 on the outside, Basin on the bottom. It will be a perfect season if he can go ahead and do it. Not one time did he DNF up to this very moment. And one time that I even think he got in a car accident.
Now, one time that I don't think he even finished below 7th possibly this year.
Well, it's called the Cup Series for the reason. And right now he's showing that he is definitely one of the best. That's why it's all consistency. And we get ready to try it again. Basin downstairs, Mosteller up top. They got Burrows and Swearigan back to road number 2. Let's get ready to try it again, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to take the green flag. Line them up. Toyota, Chevrolet, back underway from Chicagoland.
That bottom side gets a huge launch. Every restart side by side is the battle for second. Burrows now coming up underneath Mosteller, trying to make it 4 in a row.
He's going to fight and claw his way. That's Ethan Stanley up to the outside lane. Here comes Chad Jeffries. Finds his way through on the outside. We stay green.
Really close there. I think New Biggin got in the wall for a moment. Couple did. But now up front, it's Basin, Burrows, and Mosteller in the top 3.
Yeah, he single files it back out. Anthony Burrows wants a shot at winning this race. Last time went to victory lane. Just the last race, and the 2 races before that, looks to be becoming the first driver to go 4 in a row.
Yes, and he is getting the run down low. Looking underneath Basin, doesn't have it this time, but he's well under a 10th behind. Dives down into the corner, takes the lead. Does he keep it?
Bason's going to go ahead and slot to the bottom. No point in pressuring him as Anthony Burrows goes back to where he loves to be. Top of the board with a 9 is behind that 83 as they inch their way back to 1.
Top of the board for sure. A season of what could have been had he been able to finish and run up front in all those races. But now behind him, the battle for second. Basin with Mosteller. Swearigan all over the back bumper of him, and Schmidt right behind the 15.
Max is on the attack, back to the outside lane. William Schmidt just watches back down on the bottom. Dylan Basin needs to drive off. He wants to keep that 62 within arm's reach, but he has pressure, and a lot of it in the form of the 9. That's right behind him.
That's the gap. You see it now, and it gets so close through 1 and 2.
Mosteller wanting to go ahead and put an exclamation mark on a perfect season. Swearigan wanting to go to victory lane. He closes into the 9. He looks to the inside of the 9. Wheel to wheel is the big drive in deep that will slot himself into 3rd.
And don't look now, but Schmidt trying to put pressure on Demos as well. Right behind him with Thornquist. Brower in the wall. Gets it all collected. And now the 9 trying to play defense as the 79 looks to get by.
Schmidt looks top, no deuce. Schmidt looks to the bottom, and there's still nowhere to look. Max Swearigan is now wheel to wheel with Dylan Basin. Both the Toyotas are holding on to it right in front of the 9, but Basin looks to get the drive down off.
And Thurston just comes off pit road, probably 5 or 6 laps down, but up front where it matters is Basin. Swearigan and Mosteller, Schmidt, Thornquist are all right with each other.
Schmidt back to the inside, looking, peeking, Swearigan at the bottom. This is the rally for second as he drives his way on through and will clinch the second spot. Mosteller looks to join him to the inside of Basin, they're wheel to wheel.
All 4 of them right with each other. Schmidt gets loose, keeps it side by side. Thornquist with the bonsai move, 3 wide to the bottom. Gonna get at least 1.
Gets 1, no doubt about it. Now they're both gonna line up behind him, and Mosteller is gonna try to jump into the inside lane as well. The drive off may work. Thornquist shuts the door once again. Lap 77 at 267, they carrying it to 1.
Thornquist doing his best to be the Ross Chastain of this race, making crazy moves. Gets right up behind the 83, hits the apron a little bit, but he has the run down low.
Looks to the inside, doesn't work. Basin lines it up, back nose to tail. Vila back in 8th. You got Brower back in 7th. Mosteller watching on with that 48 right in front. Just inching and clawing his way forward goes Max Swearigan, trying to go ahead and perform an underdog win here in Chicagoland.
And he's making up ground to Burrows, and the 15 behind Burrows, well, only about a quarter second.
Basin on that outside lane. Nose to tail with Thornquist. Thornquist to drive off. There's Mosteller under pressure. Schmidt to the inside, wheel to wheel.
And now goes Brower down low too. He's going to try and get a run. The 9 has the high side, about a lane up. Going to get the run off the corner and clears him.
Brower is there to the outside, to the quarter panel, looking, peeking as Max Swearigan dives within a 13-1.
And he's going to take a lane higher too. Tries to get the run on Burrows. Now off the corner, only about a 1-2 between them.
Looks to the top, can't get it there. Might get an opportunity to 3 and 4, but Burrows is going to duck it to the inside. Max Swearinger hasn't led a single lap here at Chicagoland. Now he's going to look to do so. Toyota, Chevrolet, Swearinger top of the board.
You saw Burrows got loose, and that opened the door for the 15, who clears him down into 1. Now tries to put a gap on him as Thornquist goes up high. He continues his charge.
He's up to second. In the matter of moments, he will be in second. Now he has it locked in. That's Burrows still on that bottom lane. Nighttime has rolled on in at Chicagoland, and the outside lane has come to life working lap 80.
That 48 car is worth the price of admission now. Up to the second spot, clears him, now looking for the lead. Only a 10th between them, not even a car length. Going into 1, he's gonna look right behind him, follows his tire tracks.
Battle for the lead, back to 1 and 2. Burrows back to third, Mason back to fourth. Here comes Schmidt, looking to the inside, Toyota on Toyota. No change, now the flip as they work their way to 3.
As we go into nighttime, the 83 is starting to falter. This is the fight for fourth. Up ahead of him, the fight for the lead is a 3-car battle.
And they've all lined it back up. Chad Thornquist wants the lead and does not want to look back, but Burrows has been maintaining those tires by running the inside lane. 21 the difference, 20 the difference. Thornquist inching closer. The 50 machine, he's in the wall. Just scrapes the right side.
And that is letting Swearinger get away little by little. Only about 2/10 now between them, but that's been a big lead compared to the past few laps.
Basin back to 5th, Mosteller back to 6th, Brower back to 7th, and Vila back in 8th. Wheel to wheel, New Bigging has company behind. That's Barry, that's Scott. Barry up top, Scott looking at the bottom. Now the switch as the 97 rim rides the outside lane.
He's going to try and get the run in that Blue Ice Ford. He's going to get a bit of a run. Not enough yet to get side by side, but to get to the back bumper.
Here comes Thornquist again, 16 back. The night has rolled on in here in Joliet, but nonetheless, we watch back. Fast forward, lined on up, base into the wall. In the wall big time, and it'll open the door for the 9 down to the inside lane.
We're seeing it, a lot of these guys getting into the wall and can't get off of it on the front stretch. Now, the door's been opened for Brower to go to 6th.
Thornquist down within a 9. The drive off corner exit, daylight downstairs. He's going to take it. They're back wheel to wheel. Swearinger up top. Thornquist on the bottom. New race leader is the Lowe's 48.
He's got the lead, but here comes the 15 back, getting the run, trying to pull the crossover. 48 nearly in the wall. Side by side to the line. 15's going to get it.
He looked, he peeked, got it back. Can he close the door? He can't. The Toyota will hold on for now, but Thornquist will look to get the drive off corner exit. Rolls the center well. Tries to get it off. Does he get it this time? He might. He does. Thornquist back top of the board.
But not for long. Still has the nose there for the 15. Goes down low. Burrows in the middle lane. Thornquist up high. They come together. 3 wide off the corner. And the 48 gets the lead.
That's for the lead this time. Burrows downstairs will now join himself back to 2nd as Swearinger starts fading. Was 1st, now 3rd. May relegate back to 4th because Schmidt is there.
Schmidt is looking, has the run, goes down low, side by side for 3rd. Not now. Swearinger clears him. A bit of a gap to the 9.
Basin back to 6th. Vila back in 8th. Lined up, here comes Douglas Newbigging, another championship contender, hoping and praying for something to go wrong with the red 9, but it's not going to happen here. Here comes Burrows back to the inside.
He's going to dive down low, try and get that run to the bottom. Now looking, Thornquist gets up high towards the wall, gets the run, still side by side down the path.
And it's not going to change there. Burrows will go ahead and drive it in deep and hope he can clear the 48. This time he does. Anthony Burrows back top of the board at Chicagoland.
And now the 3rd spot is contested. Swearinger up high, Schmidt down low.
Schmidt's got to get something. He's going to get something here. Down into 1 and 2. Drives it in deep. But Max Swearinger on that outside lane is going to crowd him. Crowds him well as the Toyota sit wheel to wheel.
And right behind them, you see the one up top, too. That's Abraham Vila trying to get the high side going fast. He's going to maybe try it again. Nope. Going to dive low underneath Brower.
Yeah, he's going to look. He's going to peek, but I don't think they're going to make contact as they sit back nose to tail. Max Swearigan is in trouble. He was your leader. Now he's all the way back to half a second, maybe now more coming, and Schmidt's under fire by the 9.
And Demos looking up high. He's going to try and stay ahead of Basin. Mosteller now getting the run out of those tires. It looks like he's saved, and he's going to be side by side with Schmidt. 3 wide now as Basin dives low.
Gets it here. Is he going to get them both? Maybe one, maybe none as they stay 3 wide. Mosteller will get the drive down off, but what's in front of them? That's still Max Swearigan. Find a lane that works best for you. What a race we have here tonight working lap 90.
It's a crazy
Oh, he's on the wall.
Again.
And he just pancakes to the right side. Yeah, that nose, that valence, it's all bent up.
Oh, there's a whole pack behind him too.
Chad Thornquist was down within a 9 for the lead to try to take it back and will crawl his way back to 3rd.
Well, it's going to be iffy with this big pack here and an ill-handling car. If he gets in the wall again, stacks him up, we could see a huge one.
Mosteller right behind, lined up nose to tail. Max Swearigan on the bottom, trying to make it work. That's William Schmidt on the inside lane, would like to clear the 9, can't get it done for Burrows. Half a second and see ya. He's saying adios.
That 48 might be bruised and battered, but he's not giving up. Stays on the high side, tries to contest for second. Gonna keep his nose there, gonna be really close. Off the corner, there, he might actually get the run.
And Schmidt is there looking for an opportunity. Mosteller, the 2 for 1. He will not beat a 9 on that outside lane. Looks to the outside, holds it 3 wide. This crowd is not sat down as the 9 looks for the drive off corner exit.
There's 3 up top, 2 down low. Swearigan tries to crowd him up towards the high side, trying to contest for second. Dives low again with Schmidt behind him. Demos follows the 48 with Basin going even higher.
Trying, looking, 5 drivers under lane. That's not going to work.
And it did.
Man. And Thornquist can hold on, but Demos wants to find a way around all of them. He jumps it down to the inside, making the outside of 1 and 2.
48 down low in that really ill-handling car, but he manages to close the door on the 9, who looks low now, opens that door, kicks it down, and takes second.
Mosteller downstairs. Thornquist is there. The drive back to the inside lane. Does he have what it takes to take it back for the 9? How he didn't yield for the wildness up front, I have no idea.
And now Basin gonna enter this battle too. Can't clear the 48. 3 wide again for second. As they got Mosteller up top. Basin in the middle. Clearing the 48, who has nearly spun it around. Oh, the 12's in the wall. Brower got in the wall too.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and hold on to it. 3 wide. Here they come. Schmidt to the outside. That Swears into the inside. Thornquist will be stuck in the middle. This may be race of the year because there has been nothing but wheel-to-wheel action back to the start finish.
And that 88 car is a lap car with fresh tires. And there goes Swears around. He saved it. Somehow saved it, and we stay green.
Yeah, he's going to hold on. I don't know how he did it, but he's rolling forward. Speaking of rolling forward, Dylan Basin down within a 9, and he's going to track in Burrows. This mosh pit is still together as they work their way down into 3.
The battle for 5th on screen now. Thornquist down low, Vila up top, Brower and Newbigging follow. Vila's going to get the run off the corner. He might be able to clear him as they get to 1. He does clear him before the start-finish line.
Basin down to within an 8-9 and inching little by little. Daniel Mosteller back under fire. That's the 88 of Dominguez on the outside lane. Basin within an 8-7, closing on in. Thornquist back to 7th. No matter when you watch back on this stream, whether it's live or a recap, every single lap has something to offer. How about Newbigging to the inside?
He's going to dive low, follows the 48. He's sitting in 8th at the moment. Scott now behind him in that Ford. Going to follow right behind. They're all on the line.
Everyone lines it back up. Basin down within an 8-2. Closing in, creeping as the orange sky goes off towards 1 and 2. Schmidt back to 4th. Mosteller has to hold on to it and may lose this spot. The 79 looks to the inside.
Schmidt has a nose there. Can he make it work? Goes down low. He's going to try and get 3rd. Has it for the moment. Demos keeps his nose there. Trying to clear. They keep it off each other. He does clear him. Vila enters the battle trying to look high.
The game of inches, and here comes the one. Back to the outside lane. Mostiller will go from 3rd to 5th in a matter of inches. You can just see these drivers behind now working their way forward. Basin within a 7. Mostiller back to a 2 looking. Brower is inching forward. He looks to the inside.
Brower had just been in the wall. Now he's going for a top 5 spot. Dives low in that all-tail Dodge, but the Coke Chevrolet gets the run off the corner and keeps him at bay.
Well, things continue to change here from Chicagoland. What a race. What a pick to have this one as the finale, as Basin is back locked in. Burrows on the bottom, still 7 the difference. Closes to a 6-9, and Schmidt is rolling forward on the outside lane.
He is loose, though, but he's managing to keep it underneath them. Now a bit of breathing room between these cars as we go into 3 and 4, coming to lap 100.
Everything continues to shuffle about. Back to the inside, back to the outside. Matthew Brower's in 6th. New Biggins back to 7th. Behind him, you got Scott, who is now cracked inside the top 8. What changes in this top 2 if Burrows can't stop the bleeding?
I do not know at this time, but right now, it's half a second. It's one thing to catch him, another to pass him. Now you got Brower all over the back bumper of Demos, who is following behind Vila as they keep it about a car length between them.
Lined up, nose to tail, back to the start-finish line. Working lap 101. Vila just got the outside wall, and that may allow the 9 to close on in. Maybe an inch, maybe now we're thinking of just a paint scratch, because he has not lost any speed as he scrubs it back to 1.
He goes up high. Demos goes down low. Brower a little higher up, trying to follow the 9. They all get back in line, heading down the back.
Nothing has changed for now. A couple lap machines have gone ahead and switched things up. But Basin has ran that outside lane masterfully as Burrows has lost a ton of time. 3 the difference, 2 the difference. Here they come as they get back on their feet once again.
Burrows got stuck behind a lap car who's in the wall behind them, and now the 83 of Basin is able to catch him. He's up top, gets the run off the corner. Burrows gonna try and shut the door on him, but the 83 is coming.
Burrows up 20 spots, maybe back down to 19 because Basin's gonna look back to the outside. He's gonna get the drive back on that outside lane. Lap machine may make a difference. The question is, where does the Red Bull go? Inside lane advantage this time by, but Burrows will cross back to the start-finish line, still your race leader.
Now not even a car length between them. Basin jumps up to the top side, gets beside the 62, tries to get the run off. He's gonna.
Dylan, Basin, and Toyota will regain the lead here in the season finale.
Burrows not wanting to go quietly though. Dives back down low, keeping it side by side. Has the lead for a moment, but now the 83 gets the run.
Schmidt back to 3rd, Vila back to 4th. How about Brower? How about Mostiller? Up inside that top 6. Douglas Newbigging has the 07 and Nick Hook looking back to that outside lane, but it won't work out whatsoever. It's calmed on down for now, but look who's decided to join the outside lane club. Anthony Burrows, and he is looking to go ahead and make up time.
Trying to at least, getting it hooked up. Now gonna go back down to the bottom while the 83 is up towards the wall, right next to it. Kyle Larson line.
Basin drive off, this time by. Yes, sir. Burrows back to 2nd. Schmidt under fire. That's Vila looking to the inside. Maybe a wheel-to-wheel working lap 105.
Doesn't have him yet. Now the 1 goes up high and the 79 goes down low. Vila trying to build the run to the backstretch. Here comes the 79 up top, loose, but shuts the door.
Everyone else behind. Mostiller back to 6th. Newbigging back to 7th. Scott still back in 9. Chad Thornquist, remember what was your race leader? He's regulated back to 5th. Oh, let me rephrase that, back to 10th. As Burrows did not like that outside lane, he's dropped to the bottom. Maybe an ill-handling car, including with the right side.
Yeah, but still, oh, he's in the wall. Burrows in the wall all the way through the corner. Let's see the damage as we exit the corner now. Not horrible.
He didn't hit that wall, though. He rode it all the way to the outside. You saw those sparks just glow into the night as they now work their way back to turn number 3 and 4. Dylan Basin loves it. When you see the best of the best struggle, you know you have what it takes to go to victory lane. William Schmidt, he's going to be under fire. Now he's in the wall.
And that's going to lose him the 3rd spot. Brower is probably not going to be able to make the move, but he is there.
Matthew Brower, he said at the end of the season, which is now, he said, just want to go to victory lane. That's all I want. Well, he's up to 5th, and he's rolling his way forward.
Up to 5th, looking for 4th now. Still down low underneath Schmidt. Gonna go dive down to the bottom, but not enough.
Burrows is closing in after just pancaking the right side. The gap of 3.8, 108 out of 267.
And you see, watch him go into the corner. The 83 goes high, the 62 goes low. And he's making up time aggressively into the corner, now under 3/10.
Ooh, Basin nearly just had a date with the wall there. That right side was all yawed out. And you can see the tire wear is becoming a kicker. How about Vila back to 3rd? Schmidt under fire again. Matthew Brower ducks it to the inside. Douglas Snoopiging would like to end it on a high note. He's back there in 6th and closing on in.
You're starting to see lap cars pitting now. Those in the back, those who are having poor handling cars, but these ones up towards the top, they're staying out. Burrows not letting up on Basin as they go to the back.
Basin the drive off. Burrows back to 2nd. Vila back in 3rd. Schmidt lined up with Brower. Lined up with Mosteller. Max Swearengen's going to look to the inside, but it won't work out. This is the battle for the lead coming off corner exit.
Just a little over 2/10 between them. He loses a bit off the corner, though. Basin getting the run off. Burrows getting the run in. Entering 1. Let's see if they do again. And the 83 up top.
He's able to get it right here. You see Basin up near that outside lane just making it work. But Burrows that's just making up time on the bottom. Could be the kicker, could be the difference, but you got green flag cycles coming on. And at the bottom of your screen, you'll see who is and not on pit road, including the left side. Gilliam was in, Carr is in, Kenyon is now in. 110, 111 sticks on the board on the left side of your screen.
Lubbock also down pit road, as is Steinmeier. You're starting to see slowly but surely those who need adjustments getting on pit road now.
And this will allow Joseph Armstrong to work his way forward. Not the best on the short run, one of the best on the long run. And he's going to stay out as long as he needs. New Bigging is in. Nearly the whole herd has come on in, but this top 2.
They might be pitting here, both going down low now. 83 hasn't done that for most of the night.
He's coming.
Yep, he's coming. Nearly spun it.
Burrows just having a handful coming on off. Schmidt is in. Mosteller is in. Can't speed on that one. Brower, Joseph Armstrong sliding off corner exit. And he's going to go ahead and hold on.
Gets it woed up. Doesn't lose too much. 20 of Armstrong now into his pit.
They may have just missed that stall. He may have to back up. No, they're going to go ahead and give it to him. That's the thing. You're going over 200 miles per hour at some point during this race. You got to get it down all the way to 45. That is a struggle. But for Dylan Basin, 1 goal. Stay out in front of Anthony Burrows. Burrows is coming off the pit road. All jacking, trying to come down that 83 machine. I think Burrows may win the race off pit road. He does as they work their way to the apron of 1.
Leapfrogs him and putting about a second now. The gap growing as Burrows gets up to speed.
Carson Freeman in the 4, finding his way through. Anthony Burrows will regain as the race leader. And that's exactly what they wanted to go ahead and see. If you're a fan of the 62 and you want to see 4 for 4, Dylan Basin's got the fight. And already he's on the outside lane.
On the outside lane with a lap car there now looking underneath them.
So these are the drivers that did the overcut by just 1 lap. Well, guess what? They're already ahead of the drivers that decided to undercut. Not what you want to see for some of these guys. You're still in the same ballpark, but at the same time for Anthony Burrows, it is number 1 with Basin back by a 1.6.
Well, and you see that 14 that just got passed by Daniel Mosteller. That's James Thurston with damage on his car. He had gotten in the wall earlier, blocking the 12, or maybe just trying to get out of the way. But he had gotten into an accident earlier with Justin Champagne, probably costing him his championship shot this year, just trying to limp it home this season. But now, looking at these guys fighting, there's Brower, Carr, Schmela, and Joey Stone now in the 9th spot.
Joey hasn't gone to victory lane at all in NR Night in America. How about this one? If he can get it done, it will be a long shot. Muppet back to 17th. Panetto back in 18th, looking his way forward. But Basin starting to close on in just a little bit. Finds a 1.57 and brings that forward momentum to target that 62.
Yep, and where would Burrows be? It says he's pitting. Probably just a little error on the scoring. But right now, Basin a good distance between he and Vela for that second spot.
Well, they do go ahead and have Anthony Burrows as your race leader. As we wait for the timing and scoring to go ahead and update on the live stream, we want to say thank you to everyone that's tuned on in tonight because it has been a treat. And our night in America, feeling victories all year long. Let's go ahead and wind it down before that board comes back up. It's Basin in second. It's Vila back to third. It's Schmidt back in that fourth position as they get ready to go ahead and try it again. Carr back to seventh, Brower back to eighth, Stone back in ninth.
Schmela, it is now ninth. Then you got Stanley, 10th, Kroenke, 11th, Steinmeier falling a little back. Now Kenyon up towards 11th. They're just all shuffling throughout the pack.
And they continue to shuffle as this race continues. We're thankful for everyone that's tuned on in. You know what? We're at the long distance point of this race. Let's do something that we haven't done in quite a while. Let's go ahead and turn it up. Back from the Chicagoland Speedway and our night in America, feeling victories all year long, and that might be the final turn it up of the season, but it has been an interesting season nonetheless. Well, here's your scoreboard. It is back on the left side of your screen, and Dylan Basin has closed back on in, but still a lot of time to go ahead and make up.
Yeah, about 1-4 between them. Vila now in third, Schmidt and Mosteller, your top five.
Carr back to seventh, Stanley back in eighth, Joey Stone back in that ninth position. But you look at Mosteller in fifth, look at Brower back in sixth. Not a lot has changed for those drivers kind of just sitting in the middle.
Yeah, about 3/10 though between Mosteller and Brower. It seems to be getting closer.
Panetto back in 14th, Max Swearengin back in 15th. Those are the drivers that just did not get the cycle well. Well, there's Basin, there's Burrows, still within the kind of the same ballpark, working lap 123, winding down the season. We're closing in on halfway.
Yeah, only about 11 or so laps away from the halfway point. Burrows now a little bit widening of the gap over Basin, and now you see right behind him, Vila and Schmidt right on top of each other for the third spot.
And how about Darian Gilliam working his way up inside the top 10? We love to see by that 0-0. Now a caution could go ahead and change stuff, but at the end of the day, great night for him overall.
Yeah, I think there is a battle for third heating up here. Not even a tenth, a little over now a tenth between them. but that one car is getting dogged by the 79.
Yeah, Schmidt is really close on into Abraham Vila. Lap 124 of 267. Schmidt will look back to that inside lane. Don't think it's going to work out because Vila's got it locked from the bottom to the top as they work their way to one.
Well, it's still only about a car length between them. Schmidt now tries to pin it down on the white line, but Vila does instead, though the 79 is there.
Schmidt to the inside, wheel to wheel.
Side by side, dives it down into 3. The one looking high, gonna try and get that run off and hold him at bay.
Vila on the outside up near the wall, looking to get the drive off corner exit. Still 1.56 the difference for Basin, but William Schmidt puts himself in a third.
Yeah, and that is the closest battle on track right now, though behind them, Mosteller is only about 3/10 ahead of Brower. That 12 car not letting the 9 get away.
Matthew Brower's been having a great season. Now, what's the talk about long green flag run? So if you look back to any race of the 2000s, if you get a long green flag run and then you get a caution, things get dicey, overly dicey. At the end of that, do you go green all the way here, or do we see another caution? We've seen a couple already before halfway. But at the same time, for some of these guys, they might want to see it go green. Basin, I think, would like to see it go green as he is actually starting to inch back in, but still in the same area as Anthony Burrows.
I still think we're probably going to see maybe another round of green flag pit stops. We might be in that big, long run that we see so many times this season. But there's always that crazy or dumb yellow, something that happens that brings them all back together.
Want to say thank you to Kenny for dropping down to 5. Stanley back to 8th. Carr back to 7th. Matt Steinmeier is only back to that 9th position. Marty Shamela has taken control of that car and is on path to have the best finish of the season with the Pepsi 75.
It's good to see the Pepsi car on screen for one of the first times this year. Behind him, Joey Stone in the 12th spot, Barry in 13th, and then about another 2 seconds back to Joseph Armstrong and Zach Todrick.
Joe, brand new scheme, the Yahoo 20, was supposed to drive it full time this season, but he's a Joe Gibbs fan. He thought Yahoo wasn't coming on this season at all, so he decided to become an interstate driver. Lo and behold, Yahoo decided to sponsor all 4 drivers, I believe, at some point this season. So to go ahead and finish it off, a brand new scheme inside the top 15.
Now trying to work down low underneath 2 lap machines. Gonna make it happen, it looks like. No, the 88 gives way. Now down the back stretch, trying to run down Joey Stone in the 13th spot.
Yeah, he's up to 13th, and he's got Barry on that outside lane. So this is the battle for 12th, 13th. Matthew Brower, Anthony Burrows. What happened to Burrows? Let's go ahead and look at it. Your race leader, just an update error on the scoreboard. For the ones that don't know, we get a lot of laps in and drivers go down a couple. Starts having a little bit of issue. We do plan on updating and changing the scoreboard with the new PC in the future. Nonetheless, Burrows still your race leader. You go back to Doug. You got Steinmeier right in front of him. Max Steinmeier, not a great Michigan race at all. Top 10 running as he works his way to 3.
And down underneath him is Douglas Newbigging trying to make his way up. Any hope that he has in a championship, he has to start making it happen now. We're approaching halfway, and he's battling for 9th.
Shamela looking to the inside. Shamela back near the wall. Drake Berry in 12. He's back there. Joey Stone, Joseph Armstrong, kind of just riding around in no man's land. Basin back by a 1.6. Schmidt back by a 3.19. 3.20 looking down on corner exit. Abraham Vila, Daniel Mosteller, all up inside that top 5.
Yeah, no one really making too many moves as we're going now. It's really towards the end of the run you start seeing people get loose, start seeing them come on as a long run car. But now you're seeing Schmidt start to slowly run away from that one.
Yeah, he's down in the 3-2. Now, Basin is not losing time to Burrows. He's been forced to put on the bottom. This is exactly what Anthony Burrows wants to see during this race. The drivers that were the best struggling. At one point, Burrows did hit the outside wall. He has now lost that time, but next time by will be halfway during this race. And then you start questioning, okay, who's got what for what? The bottom, the inside, the middle. Dylan Basin, the drive off, right behind Nathan Scott, who has had a great start to this race. That's damage there on the left side.
Yes, he does. He's a lap down now. Basin has basically just held serve behind Burrows. Exiting 4, going to get a good run off. Still 1-6 between them. Welcome to halfway for the final race of the season.
We're looking at an update. There may have been a wreck in the back that might warrant a yellow. Brower back to 6th. Mosteller back there in 5th. Max Swearigan may have just put it behind the wall. We'll keep that updated as Chad Jeffries, Darian Gilliam continues working on Anthony Burrows, still your race leader.
Burrows has been putting on a clinic now for 4 races. Most laps led so far tonight. But it's looking like the yellow's going to fly as we finally hit halfway.
Yeah, they forgot to throw a yellow for an incident in the back, and that'll be the 3rd caution out of this race as we will get ready to try it again. I knew something was up when I saw Nathan Scott with left side damage.
Yeah.
Admin's not staying up on any of the incidents on the racetrack, but looks like it's going to be better late than never.
And now we're watching Burrows lose that lead he had gained to Basin. The 62 Chevrolet, 83 Toyota, they get in line.
Let's get ready to go ahead and look back on it. Yeah, so apparently it happened a little while ago, and you can see those drivers down on pit road. There's Max Swearigan.
Tough end to his season after such a strong run.
Yeah, I can see him all bent up on the nose.
Well, might have happened when he was beside the 97 that one time by.
I think it was a little bit early. They said it was around the pit cycle. So it was a little while ago. Apparently it did collect a lot of guys. But I don't know why they didn't just throw it to begin with. But it may not be on camera. Nonetheless, you see the damage. James Thurston may go ahead and get a wave around from it. Still needs a lot more cautions to have it work out. Wilkerson, one of the drivers involved, Nathan Scott, joined up in on the left side.
Well, this is a good caution for those who really needed it towards the back of the pack. And now looking at your leader, Darian Gilliam, that 00.
Well, we'll get ready to try it again. So we didn't get a view on it. Apparently it took about 6 guys with him, which is definitely enough for a caution. But at the same time, with it being that long, how many guys were put a lap down that needed the caution to fly right away? Well, we're not sure exactly, but we still have 17 that we know of that's left on the lead lap.
Yes, we do. And we see a couple more probably in the pits that'll need to come out, but we definitely will have that addressed later when it comes to cautions. But now looking here, Basin's been doing this all night where he just stays on the apron under these cycles.
I don't know if that's to save fuel. Oh, he's coming back down.
Interesting.
Well, that's going to go ahead and warrant some things. Gilliam's going to go ahead and join in. So that's going to put Anthony Burrows as number 1, William Schmidt back to 2nd. And we will have a restart. Lights still on. Some of these drivers will have to go ahead and file back around, but you're halfway through this race. Regroup, restructure. You start this race in the day, you've worked your way to the night. How do you want to play it? That's really up to how these drivers go ahead and figure out what is best for them, but nonetheless, we're going to get ready to try it again.
Well, and it looks like as we run, Basin might get shuffled out of the top 20 with all the guys on the lead lap with that pit stop.
Yeah, I'm surprised he came to pit road. I mean, that was interesting, an interesting move.
He will be.
As we get ready to try it again.
Looking at the top 10 as they run, Burrows, Schmidt, Vila, Mosteller, Carr, Brower, Stanley, Newbigging, Steinmeier, and, well, was Barry, but looking like Mubbock might be through there unless he's getting a lap back or pitting, wherever the 42's going.
I believe it's going to go ahead and be a wave around. Or go ahead and come to pit road. It's going to be one of the two, and that's how it's going to go. Well, that's not the 14 leading. That is James Thurston getting a wave around. So the lights will go ahead and come back off, and we will get ready to try it again.
One of many laps that he'll probably need to get back, but knowing how crazy the end of these races get, it's still possible.
Schmidt on the outside, Vila on the bottom, Mosteller lined up on the outside of row number 2. Carr, Brower, Stanley, Steinmeier, Newbigging. Back with Barry. You have Stone and Shamela up inside that top 12. But we get ready to try it again. With a caution coming out for the 3rd time here tonight, let's get ready to roll.
And this will be pretty much the start of the second half of this race. Under 130 laps left of it. Going to be around the 100 to go mark, maybe a little after that. We might have a next round of pit stops.
That's the thing. If you get a couple more cautions, could be looking back at another fuel lottery race. I know Michigan held that one last time, but you just never know how these things are going to go. And for Anthony Burrows, you to contenders right up there with them. Let's get ready to go green just one more time from Chicagoland. Pace car makes a hard left on a pit road. Chevy, Toyota, back underway here in Illinois. Oh, they're wrecking big time, way in the back. Caution's gonna wave. Abraham Vila, a lot of damage on the nose.
What a
Who else got into it?
A lot.
Panetto, down into the grass. Douglas Newbigging.
That 75 car we've been talking about all night got in it. What happened? These are your survivors.
Mosteller, did he get any damage? No, he was able to survive another one. Wow.
Wonder where that golden horseshoe is stuck.
Let's go ahead and watch back to it. Oh, you can't be serious, Ethan Stanley. No, not even. Burrows just did not get going.
And just like that, a lot of good
He's supposed to go in the restart zone. Watch it again. He didn't get going at all.
And that gets Brower, that gets Newbigging. And just like that, half the field is collected in this.
Unbelievable.
Let's see. I want to see a little further back, see how everybody kind of got involved in this. There's Blue Jimmy we're following here. This is the accordion you'll see.
Yeah, Joey Stone. Wow. Gavin Austin just nearly had a date with the infield care center. How he avoided that one. He was the M&M's car.
Can we follow him on that one? I want to see his view of this.
We're going to try to go ahead and get a view. That's Douglas Newbigging to the inside. And then here he comes. Oh, he may have gotten tagged. Yeah, he did on the right side. Caution is out now for the fourth time. Here tonight, lap 141 to 267 pit road. It's wide open. And for some, that may be it for the season. For others, still got halfway. Still got a lot more racing left to go.
But you're seeing how that shuffled up the field, too. I mean, look at that. Darian Gilliam into the top 10 for the first time tonight. Or at least first time off of speed and pitting and all that and avoiding an accident pretty well. He was behind all that, managed to make it through. But you're looking in the top of the board here, completely shuffled. There's guys that haven't been in the top 10 all night that are up here now.
Barry back to 8th, Kenyon back to 9th, Gilliam back in 10th, Vila, Kroenke, Armstrong, Movick, Stone, Tondra, Panetto, Carr, Basin, and Beckman as they all get ready to try it again. Well, the lights will go ahead and come back off this time by, and we will get ready for another restart. Scott coming back down off pit road. Some of these drivers still 1, maybe 2 laps down, and it took a good amount of them with them.
Yeah, there are some very fast cars that were taken out in that wreck. You're seeing at the bottom of the screen here, Vila, Stone, and Armstrong all in it, Panetto in it. And once again, we shuffle up this field, and we'll set them off again. Hopefully this time we can make it past the restart zone. Jeffries
back to 7, Kenyon back in 9th. Lights off mean we go again. And still a good amount of drivers down on pit road. We'll go ahead and update the scoreboard. We still have more than 17 racing for sure. It will go ahead and update when they get back to that start-finish line. As drivers go around to get their laps back, we get ready to go back green.
Yeah, side by side here we got, Schmidt, Mosteller, Burrows, Brower, Steinmeier. Steinmeier was in the back half top 10, if not out of the top 10. Now a top 5 contender in this race.
Schmidt versus Mosteller, road number 1. Let's try this one again. And hopefully, we can go ahead and get this one back going. Burrows is not up front. He had to go to the rear. Mac underway. Let me rephrase that. He's back in third. Mac underway from Chicagoland.
We made it past the restart zone, and now we make it to 1. Car in the wall in the back, that's the 35. Nothing happens, though. Top 5 get away. Demos fighting Burrows for second.
Jeffries to 7, Stanley to 6, Gilliam back to 11th and fading quickly. What does Mosteller do to try to take the lead? Well, he can't do it now because Burrows just shoots it to the inside and looks for the top spot.
Mosteller follows right behind him. No, Schmidt keeps the lead to the line. Gonna have it. Top 4 all with each other.
144 to 267. Mulvick back to 7th. Basin back to 12th. Beckman, Scott, Stone, Panetto have all lined it back up. Working their way off corner exit. William Schmidt's going to be under fire. That's Anthony Burrows looking for a way through.
He's trying, but right now a car length separates him from the lead. Behind him, Mosteller gets the dive down in. Brower following loose out of the corner, and Steinmeier with them top 5 now altogether.
All working their way back to the start-finish line. Max Steinmeier, a man on the mission, trying to get PBR a win. Here comes Burrows to the inside. Schmidt on the outside lane looks to hold him down.
He's going to try, gets the run on the high side, and that trying is going to get him the lead still.
Stanley back in 6, Mulvick back to 8. Mosteller there in 3rd, lined up and loaded as Anthony Burrows has got it lined on that inside lane. 12 the difference. Looking back to 13 the difference. 146 to 267.
Battle for the lead heating up. Burrows has been probably the best all of the night portion of this race. He's all over Schmidt, the long shot for the championship. Schmidt goes high. Burrows goes with him. Still about a car length and a half between.
And Ethan Stanley back to 6, Mulvick back to 8. Kroenke, Basin, Kenyon trying to get a shot back to that inside lane, but Bason's been a man on the move. He had to come back down pit road to get something to refire. Here comes Burrows down to 11.
He's trying to look low going into the corner. They both go low. Following right in his tire tracks, Burrows trying to make up time on Schmidt. Schmidt gets a little loose off. Gonna give a little more room to Burrows to make up.
And he's gonna get that drive back down off corner exit. Mosteller back to 3rd, Brower back to 4th. Matthew Brower, have a night. What it has been from the start of this race to now. But William Schmidt is under fire. Just wants to get one win. Anthony Burrows looks to the inside lane back to 1.
Burrows right to his bumper, gonna look high now. Schmidt goes down low. Burrows up top, trying to get the run off in that black 62 Chevy.
Close it on in, back to 14 the difference. Mosteller back to a 4-0. What a season it has been for this 9. Still racing left to go indeed, but a top 3 running as of now as the top 2 get ready to go at it.
Not even half a car length between them. You see the distance now. Burrows follows behind him, goes low, now looks high, going into the corner, looks low again. Schmidt shuts the door.
Ethan Stanley back in 6, has the nose punched in on the Taurus. Max Steinmeier lined up and loaded, that's with Matthew Brower. Brower's got to go ahead and find some speed here soon because the drivers behind are getting faster and faster. 19 the difference for the driver in 2nd. Brower may be back under fire.
And look at the back of this group. That is Braden Mulvick in that silver 42. He's made his way up to 7th and looking for more.
Burrows down within a 21. Mulvick, first time up inside the top 7, down to that inside lane with Ethan Stanley on the outside. Has the car to go to victory lane. Just needs these laps to go ahead and wind down. Max Steinmeier to the inside of Brower, wheel to wheel.
Looking for 4th behind him, side by side for the 6th spot. They get close together, 2 by 2 off the corner, no one gives.
Yeah, he's trying to get something here. You can just see Max Steinmeier down low, trying to find a way around Matthew Brower, but Brower's just not letting him go at all, back to 1 and 2.
But Steinmeier gets the spot. Brower now right behind him, trying to pull the crossover. Gonna do it now? Nope, he's gonna fall in line. Battle for 6th rages on.
Ethan Stanley on the outside, Mulvick on the bottom. Gets 1, might get 2. You still have Steinmeier that 23 just locked in front of those drivers. As a drive the 23 will hold on inside the fast 4.
The 12 clears him for now, side by side still as he is pinned down to the bottom lane. 42 car looking for more, but the 12 gets the run.
Yeah, here comes Stanley down off corner exit. Does he look to the outside? Gets his shot. Now maybe a look to the inside and it won't work out. Stanley will hold it back nose to tail as some drivers working on pit road just puttering it down on the apron. All bring it back together to 3 and 4.
These three all with each other now. Brower 5th, Mubbick in 6th, Stanley in 7th. Behind them is Barry in 8th.
Line back up, 36 the difference. Daniel Mosteller has closed on in once again, a gap of a 6-5. Max Steinmeier just watching on with Mubbick and Stanley right in tow.
Yeah, and right behind them, you got Barry. He's still keeping tabs with these guys. But now Mubbick trying to find his way into the top 5 with Brower as we watch Burrows. Oh, Brower in the wall again, side by side. Mubbick got the 5th spot for now, entering 1.
He's trying to get something to work. You still see Mosteller back there in 3rd. Max Steinmeier back and forth. Matthew Brower may look back to this inside of this body armor 42. Can't get it done. It's all lined back up off corner exit.
For the first time tonight, the 42 is in the top 5. Now sets his sights on Steinmeier's 23 car in 4th.
All lined in on the inside lane, back to the outside. Laps fading away. We're closing in on 100 laps remaining in this race. The finale here of the NR Cup Series. Mosteller there, very much there to Burrows. How they have not caught William Schmidt, I have no idea, but this Toyota's turned into a rocket ship off corner exit.
Schmidt just trying to end the season off well. Entered tonight 47 points out. Now just trying to get the win, hoping something happens to Mosteller.
And Demo's trying to get the drive again. Oh, he's blinking. He's got to go ahead and hold on to that internet. I thought he blinked out for a while. I was about to say there is no way a championship just ends that way.
That would have been the ultimate announcer's jinx ever.
But he will hold on in 3rd. Max Steinmeier back to 4th. Brower back in 6th. Drake Berry back to 7th. All lined in has Ethan Stanley, Matthew Brower. How about Braden Mubbick from 40th to 5th? And is looking for the win. Might have to find a way around this Jumpman 23.
Well, he's getting right to his back bumper now. The 42 has put on a Superman cape, flying up towards the front. Only a car length now away from the 4th spot. Entering 1, side by side, goes down low, has the spot for now. Steinmeier trying to hook up the top side to keep the position. And no, Mubbick's going to close the door. He's the 4th.
How about Brower looking to go ahead and inch on closer? That Toyota in front of him now will be next on the chopping block. The Dodge looks to the outside lane. Right near the quarter panel, looks for the drive down off. Not going to work out, but how about Anthony Burrows? Finally has the momentum, swaying his way to look top of the board.
Yep, and now looking behind these guys, though, the fight is for 7th. Barry under attack from Basin, who's charging back up towards the front. The 83 car, that Red Bull, in 7th.
Basin, Barry, Stanley, Kroenke. Now Kroenke looking at that inside is going to bring it back wheel to wheel. Burrows back by a 5-6. Mosteller nearly a second off the pace. Everyone continues to fly wide off corner exit.
This here, though, is the battle for 9th. Kroenke and that Blue Moon Ford trying to get the run, but up top, that 35 car not going away.
I can't believe Dylan Basin hasn't caught back up to these drivers yet. 7th is nothing to go ahead and be worried about, but nonetheless, we know this Red Bull has what it takes to go to victory lane. This top 10, if you look at the guys that have the speed, it's the 83, it's the 42, and obviously the 79 and the 62. So keep an eye on this one. I think he's saving something because he knows another long green flag run might be coming soon.
It might be coming soon, and we're closing in on only 100 laps left in this race, though.
Mosteller, oh, Mubbick just caught the outside wall. With the right side all scraped up and sparks flying off. We do stay green. Mosteller back to 3rd. Barry back to 8th. Alexander Kroenke, Chad Jeffries have got it all lined back in. Next time by lap 161.
Though we watch Burrows here in 2nd, only about a half second between both Schmidt in 1st and Mosteller behind him. And Braden Mubbick slowly creeps into this battle in 4th.
Yeah, he's looking to go ahead and have something work out here. For Alexander Kroenke back in that 9th position. it's kind of a daydream right now. You have the speed for a top 5, but you haven't had the stuff go your way. That wreck in front of him kind of affected him. A little bit of a punch on the nose. Nonetheless, he does keep it straight. But right now, we'd like to just get that car working the right way to get back in the top 5. For that 42, next up, it's the Coca-Cola 9.
Yeah, and he's running Mosteller down. But Mosteller and Burrows are running down the leader. Only 4/10 now is the lead from Schmidt to Burrows.
Dylan Basin to the inside. Does he go ahead and lock it in? He might, as that's right now the 12 of Matthew Brower right behind him, all lined back up. Brower will yield. Basin will take it. He goes to 6, working lap 162.
Basin driving through the field like a man possessed, going past cars like they're stopped. Up to 6th. Looking ahead of him, that's Steinmeier up in the 5th spot. That's next in line.
Mavic back to 4th, now closing on in. That's the Mosteller, inching under a second. Behind him, well, it's still the drivers that have no type of grip hold on that 42. Max Steinmeier is really just lined on in. He gains here, he loses there. William Schmidt has lost more time as Burrows is down to the 3-9, make it a 4. Could see a fight for the lead. Close it on 100 to go.
Everyone diving for the bottom lane, but only about 3/10 is the gap now. The 62 is closing in. Mosteller keeping pace. Mavic keeping pace too. All these guys trying to come together at the lead.
Burrows down to a 3-2, maybe a 3-1 looking. Down to that inside lane, you see Schmidt get that drive off. See Mavic, another one. Really good down off corner exit, but Anthony Burrows may want to take this lead back. What a sight it would be from 6 different winners the first half of the season to 1 winner the final 4.
Well, he's looking to make it happen. Only 2/10 now between them, and he is cutting into that even more and more. Going down to 1. Schmidt looks a little higher. Burrows looking a little bit lower. They meet at the bottom, but he's still making up time.
Drive off corner exit, crowd getting back on their feet because they know Burrows is within striking distance. A lap machine, maybe 2 in front of both of them as they rally their way back to 3 and 4.
That'll be the 75 car down low, but up towards the front. Burrows with a giant run off the corner. Less than a 10. Looks high for the lead, nothing yet.
Yeah, I can't get him there, but he's going to look to the bottom. It's going to work. Chevy Toyota down into 1 and 2. Burrows to the inside. Schmidt's going to hold on the outside. This will allow Mosteller and Mavic to close on in. Fly wide, the 79 back to the lead.
They keep it beside each other now. Down the back, only about a 0.5 between them. Burrows gets the lead for the moment with the dive low. Schmidt gets the run off the corner, pulls beside him, gets loose, crosses over underneath him, might have the lead, no. Burrows gets the lap.
And Burrows making the run off corner exit of turn number 2. Keep an eye on it. Schmidt's got to drive it in deep and make it wide. Burrows lost the rear end to the center, but will get it collected to take the lead off corner exit. Anthony Burrows, top of the board for Chicagoland.
Finally clears him down the back with 100 to go. Going low, they go the same spot. Down to the bottom. Bottom feeders through 3 and 4. Exiting the corner, Schmidt drifts up a little bit, but still 1/6 the difference.
Now what's the damage that dogfight brought? Well, it brought Mosteller within a 5-6. It brought Mavic within a 1-6. And those 2 drivers have the speed to go in and catch the 62. We could see a 4-horse race with the closing laps of this one.
Well, and while we were looking at that too, Basin now is only 1/6 back in the top 5. He got past Steinmeier, so now you might be looking at a 5-car battle. Burrows needs to run away because that 83 is coming.
Yeah, it's coming, and it's coming quick. Right now, that top 5 have the speed to go to victory lane. Schmidt down within a 19, trying to hold on, but he will be losing time. Mosteller, on the other hand, is there and is inching closer and closer in under half a second.
Only half a second between these top 3. Mavic under a second away. Basin under a second and a half, now a 1-4 away. These guys are not letting each other go.
Nothing has changed, back down to 3 and 4 for now, should we say, because Basin is closing in big time there on Braden Mavic. Braden Mavic has gone to victory lane here before this car track combo. He'll like to get it done on the big stage. Schmidt now within a 3-2 and losing time.
Basin making about a 10th up a lap back in 5th. Schmidt now 3/10 back. Now Mosteller falling behind. Burrows trying to keep the race all under his control.
3 the difference. Schmidt would like to get something going back his way, but how about Demos now losing time? Burrows may have just opened it up. He was in tire saving mode, but not anymore. These drivers may have to pit 1 or 2 more times before the end of this race. Depending on the cycle, will depend on the fuel and tire lottery. Keep an eye on it as they rally back to 1.
I'm telling you, even with dirty air, even with Burrows now running all out, Basin cutting into that lead. Now 1-1 the difference between 1st and 5th.
Mosteller back there in 3rd. Under fire, here comes Mubik. Down to the inside lane, just using that apron to help him turn off corner exit.
And he used it well. Now right behind the 9, but he's still under fire from the 83. You see him there.
Basin, Mosteller, you look back to Brower, kind of just riding around, needs the top 4 to open it up. Schmidt losing the grip hold. Mosteller now losing time. Mubik is there. Basin is there as Basin looks downstairs.
Basin continues his hard charge to the front. Now going for the 4th spot. He's got it. The 42 tries to get the run up top. Is he gonna? Nope. 83 to 4th.
Basins able to get it done up the 4th. Behind Mubik may want to try it again. A swing left, maybe a swing right. Nothing looks to change as they work their way back to 1.
Basin now sets his sights on the 9 of Mosteller. Mosteller keeping it low, gets a little loose, but no, Mubik not giving it up either. He's going to stay right with him.
Korenke back to 10th, Jeffries back to 9th. Steinmeier, no change in 6th, but Mosteller under fire. Here comes the Red Bull. Down off corner exit, fighting and clawing his way to the rear end of the Chevrolet.
Maybe a car length between the two. This is the battle for 3rd, right behind Schmidt, who's faded back to them. Down low, Basin dives, gets the spot. Mosteller going to give him 2 spots this time.
Doesn't need to go ahead and fight here. He would love to see another win, but as the way things go, the car stays clean. He's going to win the championship, and that's exactly what rolls through his head. William Schmidt in 2nd would need a win to go to victory lane. Max Steinmeier's on the outside wall.
Yeah, he is, and that's going to open the door for Brower down low. He's going to fall in behind him, looks for more. He's going to keep the 6th spot, but at what cost?
Basin there in 3rd is looking, is peaking. Schmidt, no drive off. Here comes the Red Bull. Off corner exit again, trying to find a way around. Still too far back, but it's just a matter of time as these Toyotas get ready to battle it out.
Only about a 10th between them. He dives low. Schmidt stays high. That's where he's been the best at battling. But Basin gets that huge run and clears him off the corner. Basin, the best shot for the field to beat Burrows.
Ching gets it done. Now can Schmidt get something back? Not gonna happen. Down to 1 and 2. Basin will lock the door downstairs and say goodbye as these Toyotas, the dogfight didn't last long. What's next though? Anthony Burrows, Chevy in front. 1 goal, take the lead and don't look back.
Basin even fighting 3 cars made up a 2nd on the lead. Now, no one to fight. He's making up time on Burrows. 6/10 the difference.
Jeffries back to 9th. Jackson Carr back in 11th. Gilliam up to 15th. Riding around and doing well. Nonetheless, the question is, what happens with this top 2? Gap back to a 5-8.
Yeah, but it's closing. Basin has the fastest car on the track. It's pretty clear to see. Now a 5-6, a 5-5. You can see the gap visibly get smaller as he goes down.
There's Burrows still down the inside lane, half a second the difference. Basin doing everything he can to close on in. It's been a great ride. Here's wheel to wheel Max Steinmeier and Matthew Brower down on that inside lane. Brower will find his way through and will lock himself back up into the top 6.
23 finally had to relinquish that 6th spot to the 12. Now up front, still 6/10 the difference. Burrows maintaining his lead.
6 back, 8-9, 8-7 back. William Schmidt. Schmidt's got it yawed down to the inside lane, but you still see the 83 of Dylan Basin just riding it down off corner exit. Half a second back, but a lot of time left to go in this one. Back to the line, half a second the difference.
Yeah, about a half second now. He made up a 10th that last time by, though, so the gap is starting to shrink even more. Can he get under half a second? Coming off the corner, gets a good run, but Burrows gets a bit better. They're even.
Zach Todriff, he's on pit road. Gilliam on pit road. Beckman on pit road, and you're in the area where you may want to start looking to come on in. Burrows on the bottom lane will allow Gavin Austin around, working lap 180 of 267.
And now only about 4/10 the difference between them. The 83 trying to keep up with that 62, trying to put himself in the lead when they do have to pit.
Kroenke back to 11, Jeffries back to 10, Nathan Scott just kind of riding around with 12 seconds off the pace. Brower, Steinmeier, do you pit before or after the fast four? Mubik, I guarantee you, will pit with these guys because he knows he has the speed to go to victory lane as he looks to the inside. That's the difference on speed versus the driver on fresh versus not. He's going to go early.
And so is Mosteller. They're getting in. They got in hot. Get into their pits now. Green flag stops beginning. You see tons. Brower, Steinmeier, Barry, they're all in.
More drivers behind. Kroenke just coming off. Chad Jeffries in the same boat. Burrows and Basin look to come on in, and they will have to go ahead and pit one more time before the end of the race, and that's where it gets tricky. What do you hold on to? Bason's going to stay out. He's going to overcut by a lap.
A lap at the least, but yeah, he's the only car really that was within 10 seconds of the lead that's staying out now. Bold strategy, but he's going to try something different.
I'm going to call it here. I think Burrows and Schmidt ran it out to his exact last moment, but Basin came back down to top off so he can overcut the leaders because he knows Burrows would put it to the last line of fuse, any molecules left in that tank. I think he may be pitting either this time or next time. It looks to be next time, so it'll be a 2-lap overcut.
Well, that'll be huge if we do end up getting a fuel lottery in this race because pitting on lap, 181, 182 compared to 184, that is a huge difference. It cuts at least a lap off of both runs, depending on how you want to run it out.
Stanley looking to go up, still Stone down by a lap. Basin is the last one to not pit just yet. Scott just coming to pit road, and that Toyota looks to come on in. Oh, he might be missing it. It looked like he was missing. Almost had a Darlington moment with Wyatt Tinsley again. But he was able to go ahead and get it done. Very wide entrance, or the entrance to pit road. But nonetheless, that's where he lies. There's Burrows.
Yeah, this will be the interesting part. And look, right behind Burrows. Yeah, Mubik has a good short run car and a medium run car, it looks like, but he is starting to struggle a little bit to keep up that 62. Where it's going to matter is how far back Basin will be from these two.
Right, now let's say this goes green. Hypothetically, this race doesn't see another caution. Does the move by Basin work out? What about Mubik? We're going to be on 1 lap older tires than Burrows, but are you faster than Burrows? Yes, Basin will lose the lead. There he is just coming out pit road. Lose a lot more time, but how does it play on the strategy? Do we see another yellow? Do we not see another yellow? Or do we go ahead and just see Basin completely throw this race away because he's not in the top 6 anymore?
It might have just been a way for him to try and get a different strategy, be off sequence from these leaders, but these leaders are getting closer together. Mubik only a 10th back as they cross the line.
Burrows started 21st in this race. Mubik started 40th. How many passes have we seen? A lot, because those two went from the back to the front. And here he comes, riding wide off corner exit.
And he's going to get the run down the back. You see him closing in on the 62. Now Burrows goes to the middle lane, and the 69's in the wall. Get away from him, he does. Yeah,
Mubik had to breathe out of the throttle right there. You saw it happen coming down off corner exit. I think Carson Freeman there and Frank DeAngelis got into it. Mosteller still back in third, watching on, no difference. But as Schmidt under fire as well, still the battle for the lead off corner exit.
He is keeping up right there with Burrows. Now only maybe a car length and a half. The 42 looking for more, entering 3.
Schmidt back to 4, still locked in. We'll keep an eye on the battle for third. Mubik downstairs. Does he get the drive off? He very much does, and it's cut back into that lead as the both Chevrolets dogfight to the line.
They dogfight to turn 1 as well now. 42 barely keeping it off the wall. Now a little bit of breathing room for Burrows, though off the corner. Mubik's going to try and gain by going a little lower. Not working.
Yeah, it's not working at all. Max Steinmeier in 6th. That's him and Basin. Well, Basin found his way around them in no time. That 2 laps makes a massive difference, and now he's worked his way up to 5th. William Schmidt has found his way around Mosteller. He'll point himself into 3rd. Mubik still 2 the difference. Try to get aggressive with Basin. Let me phrase that. Try to get aggressive with Burrows. Not working out. Back to 1.
and we are approaching that 200 lap mark, getting to the end game of this race. Mavik now making up a little time on entry, but loses it all on exit.
Chevy on Chevy, top two, under fire. Schmidt back to third. Mosteller back to fourth. Basin, Steinmeier, Matthew Brower, all lined in, back towards the rear. Mavik the drive off, it's going to work out.
He's not letting that 62 get away. Closing in again, a 1-5, a 1-4, a 1-3, a 1-2. He's right there, right in his tire tracks. He has to find a way around.
And Burrows is going to have to look to go and shut the door at all costs. You saw Mavik having to hold that wheel. Almost lost it off corner exit. 18 the difference, 19 the difference. Different entry point into 3, may get the launch off corner exit.
Mavik has been making up time on this end of the racetrack. You see it a little bit, little by little. Even a bad lap, he manages to maintain. The problem, 1 and 2, Burrows is stronger there.
Back to the inside, Schmidt. Well, he's making some time up. 1-7 the difference. Mosteller losing time. Basin, there he is now. 5 seconds back. At one point, he was about 6, 7, 8. 2 laps, that's the difference, and it might be working out for Team TRD.
Well, he already had a bad, fast car, and now it's just getting better as the run goes on. You see him making up a 10th in the corner. Another 10th there. Up front, though, 2 tenths between the leaders.
You see Mavik still holding on and not allowing Burrows to get away. Now they're on different strategies. Mavik with the undercut, Burrows with the over. Let's talk about scenarios. My favorite part of this race when we get a long green flag run. Let's say Mavik stays within half a second of Burrows. Now, the first time they pitted, he was over half a second. He was about 9 and maybe some change, maybe a full second back. And he made that time up by an undercut. Not losing time to that 62. Do you undercut Burrows again, take the lead and defend, or do you pit the same time as the 62 and hope you can beat him just square off of speed?
Well, you're seeing now you can't beat him off speed. We're seeing
I think that one lap makes
run.
a difference.
It makes a difference. You got to do something different. Even that 1 lap difference. Do something that's not the same, because we're seeing, look at Basin. He was 6-8 or so back at the start of this run. He is now 4-8 back. He's made up 2 seconds already on this run. You got to do something different. You're just going to run right behind
So
him.
what happens if you're Mavik? Do you undercut? Do you overcut? I'd say you undercut again, because if you made up time already on pit road that much, you do it again so you stay in front of that 62 and force him to go ahead and pass you.
It's easier at this track. We've seen it all night to play defense. You got to do that. Leapfrog him in the pit cycle. That way, all you have to do is hold him back, not try to figure out how to get around it. But look behind him, Schmidt, only a 1.5 seconds back now.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. You want to continue to look on that. We also want to look at Basin. 2-lap overcut. That's a lot. Do you do that again with how late this race is going to go? I'd say you probably go ahead and do 1. But once again, we're not the driver.
But he's being aggressive. What's he have to lose? He's not going for a championship. He's not really going for anything other than going for the win. Do different things. If it doesn't work, you know what? Then it didn't work. But it seems to be working now. He's making up time every lap. 4-4 is the difference now between Basin and Burrows, and he is not slowing down.
Well, it may be working for Schmidt. He's back to a 1-4-7 and starting to close on in. Mavik's now losing that time. Undercut, overcut, we ask you all the time, who do you think's going to go ahead and get it done? Todger back to 14th, 15th, looking to get something rolling. Joey still kind of in that bubble, but out of harm's way. You look at this top 5, and these are the drivers that have the best shot at winning. I'm going to call it right now. Mosteller, I don't think he's going to have the speed to go to victory lane. He's not worried about it. He's got a different goal in mind for this race. Schmidt, 1-3 the difference.
Making up time.
Closing on in. Has a shot at going to victory lane. Dylan Basin was 8 seconds back, made up 4 seconds in this run. It's the biggest mover. We already know that. Undercut, overcut. He overcut. He has fresher tires. Max Steinmeier needs to go ahead and find speed. I don't think it's happening. So this top 5 is the big one to look at. Who do you think has the best strategy?
I'm going to go Mavik right now. If he replicates what he did before, I think he would be able to get out ahead and play defense. Burrows has it on pure speed. But Basin, I mean, you're seeing he is screaming up towards the front. Schmidt is consistent getting there, but this 83 car right now is easily the fastest car on the racetrack.
Well, yeah, I mean, at one point it was about a 4-5 back. Let's go ahead and say that was a lap ago, and he's getting ready to break under 3 seconds. So his idea is, do I grab the race lead before we go back down on pit road? Because if I do, I have the strategy. I'll lose the lead again on the cycle if I overcut, but I might get it back, coming back to start finish line. But first, you got to stay off that outside wall because he just went ahead and just kissed it with the right side. Muvik 1 second back, not the strategy in my opinion. I think Burrows has got just straight off the speed, like you said. Best case scenario, I think it's Red Bull versus a 62.
Well, and you're looking at Basin and the interval between him and the leader, even hitting the wall, keeps going down. Muvik is now over a second back. Schmidt starting to lose time.
He's coming in. Different strategy, but we have to point this out. Caution's going to wave. And he got the pit road before. I think he beat it on the pit road.
It's going to be close. I don't know if he did, but it was pretty darn close.
Well, we got the replay on the left side of our screen. Not on the viewer screen just yet, but we'll see in a moment.
Yeah,
wow.
I want to see the replay of this. I want to see what the caution is for, too. But if that's the case, he just leapfrogged the entire field.
Unbelievable.
So we'll let you know when we see the replay from our end of when the caution came out. And if he beat... So you got to beat the line of the cones or just beat the commitment line in general of getting on? Because that's a question.
Well, we're going to see it right here from us in just a moment, but this is going to go ahead and change things up. We're going to ask the admins what the caution was for before we go ahead and show you the replay.
But everyone pitting now of those leaders that stayed on the track. Burrows, Schmidt, Mosteller, Basin, Steinmeier, the top 5 as we enter the pits. Now we're looking at the replay coming down pit road. Did he beat it? Yellow came out.
No, I don't think so.
Nope, he didn't.
Apparently the caution was for Gavin Austin.
That 38 car, that is?
Yeah, there's a damage.
Yeah, it looks like a caution-worthy car. Let's see what he did here.
Nathan Scott on the bottom, Gavin Austin on the outside.
So nothing between them, it looks like. Did he just lose it on his own? Let's see, watch that 38 go down to 3 and 4. Anything here?
I don't think so. Well, we're going to possibly see it down off court.
Oh my God!
Man, that's Josh Kenyon, and he just clobbered the catch fence and just sent debris everywhere.
Yeah, the deck lid goes to the shadow realm. The 88 of Dominguez was in it too. Gavin really had nowhere to go.
What a lick. They're saying he crossed the pit line as the caution came out. I'm going to say review it because we may have saw something different.
Yeah, it looked like the caution had beat him by a couple seconds. He had already committed to being on pit road, but he had not hit that line until after the caution came out.
Let's go ahead and watch back on it again. Josh Kenyon obviously way out ahead. I think he wasn't happy here with Dominguez. As he's gonna, yeah, they both had problems.
So this probably started further back.
Yeah. So we're not gonna be able to see it, but man, look at the deck lid.
Yeah, it just flew to the shadow realm.
Unbelievable. Well, that's what the caution's for. We're going to review it because they're saying it might be the fourth. No. We are not going to go ahead and restart until we see it because I saw something different. And we're going to watch it again back on the stream because we're watching Muvik as the caution came out. So let's go ahead and watch back again. It was lap 197, 198 when we saw the yellow.
And we're watching back as we have the camera on him. And
this is the commitment line. This is the yellow one.
All right.
I think that's the one they were going off of because this is the full commitment line, but this is the yellow coming out. I'm not sure if iRacing scores it off the first yellow line or off the cone, and that's what we're looking at. So we're going to review it because we want this to be, you know, not gimmicked out. We want to make sure the driver that goes to victory lane or gets the luck move actually gets the luck move. We did the same thing with Chad Thornquist when Thornquist went ahead and won the Brickyard.
Well, it looks like they're lining up. The lights are out.
Yeah, we're going to do it one more time.
But definitely, why wouldn't we have some kind of controversial moment or call or anything at the end of this season? It'd be very fitting.
202 out of 267. I know.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure they don't go ahead and let me know By the time we get down that backstretch halfway, we're going to go ahead and delay it. But we're making sure I am not restarting this race, so I know for sure because it did not look like it. And they're not going to go ahead and give me the update, so we'll put the yellow light back on the tower.
Put a little anticipation up for this replay, or restart, I should say. But as they run now, Muvik would be the leader with Burrows, Schmidt, Stellar, and Basin top 5.
I don't know, man. That's close. You know, that's really, really close. He must have saw the wreck and then came down pit road.
Which would be a smart move on his part.
We're just going to check. We're going to check all the group chats. And this is just so the viewers know, we don't want anything to not go the wrong way. We're going to go lights off here.
Hey, I just want to say this now. My underdog pick still up in that top 10 range. Darian Gilliam, that 0-0, keeping in it. Attrition plus just being on the lead lap all night, really helping him out there. But that 0-0 car, I believe, is going to line up 11th on this restart.
Multiple people saying he's good.
Then it's looking like we're going for it here.
I guess they go off the first yellow line.
Then he made it on that.
He made it on that one.
Yeah, he made it on that one.
All right.
Let's get it rolling. Restarting here with what, 63 to go? Or 60?
They still will have to pit one more time from what it looks like. So he must have saw them wrecking and busted it onto pit road right away.
Yeah.
There's no way they go to the end unless fuel, I don't know.
No, they can't make it to the end, but it'll be very close.
Let's get ready to try this again. Braden Muvik lost the Brickyard 400 last year because of a move like this. As we get ready to try it once more, Green from Chicagoland.
Huge run, restart there from Muvik. It's about 3 car lengths on the field. They all kind of stack up behind him. Battle for second between Schmidt and Burrows. Now Basin is going to get ahead of Stellar. Brower up top in 4th. And Burrows gets away. Now it's 42 v 62.
How about this one? Matthew Brower to the inside of William Schmidt. Schmidt on that outside lane, looking to make something work down off corner exit. Basin downstairs. Stellar downstairs. They all slide in line. Braden Muvik's going to lead this one.
And it's looking like the top 2 are in the league of their own. 2 3/10 between them, and then another 3/10 back to Schmidt. But it's Muvik v. Burrows. Burrows is digging off that corner.
You see Matthew Brower has that right rear all yawed out, and he's just trying to hold it off corner exit. Burrows trying to make up ground. This is the battle for the lead.
That 42 has clean air. That 62 just has raw speed off the corner. 2/10 between them coming to the line.
He's got something right here. Anthony Burrows put in a corner with that last caution. Now chasing down that 42 machine. What do you do with your Basin? What do you do with your Corky? Do you save? Do you keep going? Lap 206 to 267. Next pit stop may decide it all.
If they go green, that is the final pit stop of the race. Only about 1-4 between them. Muvik drifts up high a little bit. Burrows is going to gain even more.
All the way back to the line. Braden Muvik trying to hold on. Anthony Burrows is there. He's creeping to the look to the bottom. He looks back to the middle. Nowhere to go on all ends. Back to 1 and 2.
Burrows has a gentle entry while Muvik was really aggressive there. Though it's going to gain Muvik this time. Schmidt and Brower entering this battle as well.
They're closing on in, and this is the end of this race, so you need a fight. Last shot to win this season. Is it a 4-peat for Anthony Burrows? Is it a walk-off for Braden Muvik? 208 to 267.
Oh, it's really close between these top 2 now. Burrows looking for any gap he can. Muvik playing defense. Now Burrows drifts a little bit, then gets to the back.
He's closing down the backstretch, 14 back. 13 was looking. Here's Schmidt down to a 3-8. It may be 3 drivers under a blanket. Back to 3 and 4.
They're getting closer. It looks like Muvik might be holding these 2 up. Muvik keeps the lead. The whole field is getting in on this.
And they're closing on in big time. Panetto, 1 lap down. If a caution comes out, he will be the lucky dog. Burrows, Schmidt, Brower back there in fourth, just watching on. Dylan Basin has company. That's Mosteller looking to the inside.
Mosteller trying to re-enter the top 5. Has a nose there. Doesn't have it now, though. Basin closes the door on him. Now ahead of him is Brower. He's trying to get the fourth spot while keeping Mosteller back.
William Schmidt closing on in as Burrows gets it back to a 17. 210 and 267. Chicagoland, one of those tracks you can defend at if you can just hold on to it. The thing is, though, you got 3 drivers under a blanket. Can you block them all?
Will Mubbock get a great entry, but Burrows gets a great exit. 13, 12, 11. Only a tenth between them, even less than that.
Down into 3 and 4. Burrows has that white line hug. Lined up there with the 42 machine, the drive off. He looks top. He may peak to the bottom. Still nowhere left to go besides right to the rear end, heading back to 1 and 2.
He's going to look high now while Schmidt goes low. 3 tenths between the top 3. Burrows looking for the runoff. Mubbock defends up to the top again, and he's gonna keep the lead.
He's gonna hold on to it. 211, 267. Race is closing in. You see Schmidt boiling down to the inside lane. Braden Mubbock trying to hold him off behind Chevy, Toyota, Dodge, your fast 4.
On less than a second between the top 6 now. Burrows trying to find another place. Scrapes the wall barely, gets a huge run low, keeps it just a little bit lower than the 42. He might have an opening.
He looked to get that drive off, but this is allowed Brower to close in. It's allowed Dylan Basin to close on in. Top 6 under a second. This is the finale you wanted to see. Burrows ducks to the inside. Burrows might get the drive off. Anthony Burrows, a man on a mission, lap 213.
Yeah, but the mission is getting held up by that 42. Now, Mubbock looks to block again. He goes a lane higher. Now tries to close the door. Does it. Burrows has nowhere to go.
Trying to find a way through. Here comes Schmidt right behind. Might look for the move as well. The 62 is in motion. The 79 is in motion. Mubbock's going to block him to the inside.
Less than a second between the top 7 now. Mubbock keeps it parked on the bottom, gets loose off the corner. Not enough for Burrows to make a run. Schmidt behind him. A small gap between 3rd and 4th.
Not a single fan sitting down, back to 1 and 2. Matthew Brower has it locked in on the bottom. He's going to try to force that 62 wide, that being the 42. Where do you go with your Burrows? Do you jump to the high side in 3? Do you duck it downstairs? He does. Wheel to wheel go the Chevrolets.
And now Mubbock's going to try and defend up top. Has about a lane between them. Dead even out of the corner. Burrows gets loose. 2/100ths of a second between them. Mubbock leads that time.
Got that outside lane, has it pointed in the right direction. Back to 1 and 2. Here comes Burrows. Screaming to the inside lane. Here comes Schmidt. Wants to join on in. Is it the 2 for 1 here from Chicagoland? Schmidt looks to the middle. Mubbock's there to block. Mubbock holds the lead heading to 3.
And now he shuts the door. He cleared him. Down to the bottom, Mubbock, Burrows, Schmidt getting the run up on the high side. He's going to battle Burrows. Oh, he's in the wall. Dang.
And here comes Burrows on the bottom.
Still side by side. Burrows blocks.
How about Schmidt on the bottom? 3 wide again.
They're not giving up. Top 3, 3 wide off the corner, down the back. No one giving. They're dead even.
Anthony Burrows looking to shut the door on the 79. He does. Braden Mubbock has kissed the wall once. Would like to take the lead back. Watch this roller coaster of a ride coming off corner exit. Lines up with the Chevrolet. Hits the wall again. And he's still back with a wheel.
Now the battle is between Burrows and Schmidt as Mubbock falls into the 3rd spot. The whole pack is caught up. Now only a second between the top 8.
Schmidt there in 2nd. Right rear yacht out. Trying to make up time. All lined on in. Mosteller lined up with Basin. Basin looks top. Brower looks to the bottom. Mubbock able to go in and defend back to 3 and 4.
Mubbock pulls him that close much longer. He'll get turned. Basin gets the run off the high side over the 12. And up top, Burrows having Schmidt all over his back bump.
Alexander Kroenke outside wall. Right side all scraped up. We stay green. Here comes Schmidt. Trying to find a way through. Top won't work. Here comes the bottom move. Lined up, nose to tail. The drive off corner exit. The look to the inside and no forward momentum.
He diamond through 1 and 2. Now tries to dive further in than Burrows in 3 and 4. Burrows keeps his tires right on that white line. Schmidt keeps his nose right in the back bumper, not giving an inch.
Lined up, nose to tail, Basin looking for a way through. You thought you forgot about the Red Bull? Think again. He's now wheel to wheel with Matthew Brower on the inside. Wheel to wheel with Mosteller watching from behind. 11 the difference, 12 the difference. Schmidt just holding on to the rear end of the 62.
Back stepped out, but he got it back in line. 1-5, 1-6 between the leaders now. Burrows pulling away on the entrance, but Schmidt gets it through the center.
Yeah, he's trying to get lost a lot of forward momentum, and Schmidt got the drive off. Schmidt looks back to the inside. No difference. Nose to tail, 220 at 267.
Schmidt now looks again. Burrows dives down low. Schmidt tries to dime in the corner again. What he did to get that run before, it's going to at least keep him to maintain.
You see him having that right rear flared on out. Schmidt again down in 12. Schmidt again looking for 11. Not able to get it. Backs it up. Basin down in an 8-4 and closing on in as Mavic tries to regroup.
Mavic has regrouped. He's gaining time on these leaders. 2/10 between first and second. Another 2-5 behind him. Mavic. Top three, all still within half a second.
All line back to that inside lane. Ethan Stanley up the 7th, looking, peeking, wanting an opportunity. Braden Mavic, 4-4 the difference. 4-5 the difference. Does anyone have anything for Anthony Burrows? What about Dylan Basin in the Toyota, who's lined it back to the inside?
Up front, though, Schmidt tries another hard charge on the 62. Gets off the corner. Gets another maybe 100. Now another 1-4. 1-3 maybe. No, now they go to 1.
Schmidt down within a 16, down within a 12, looking once again. Does Anthony Burrows have what it takes to brace? Because the Toyota is there, and they're not looking back down the backstretch.
The 79 is not giving any quarter to the 62. Down low, they both go. Schmidt following Burrows. They keep it off the white line this time, and this opens the door for Mavic.
Championship race, and it's absolutely living up to the hype. Basin is back to 4th with a 7-8 difference. He's closing on in. Braden Mavic is back, and he's better than ever. 2-8 the difference. The top three are under a blanket.
And this is opening the door for Basin in 4th. He is entering this battle now. Top three under a blanket with the 4th one trying to get with him.
Matthew Brower around Mosteller. Now they're back wheel to wheel. That's headed back to 3 and 4. Top 3, top 4 are looking to make something work. Schmidt may yield. Mavic is there. Wheel to wheel back to the line.
Car is coming to Mavic now just as it did a run ago. Mavic side by side on the bottom has the spot down low. Schmidt gonna try and get the run.
All the way back to the outside goes that Toyota. The drive, off corner exit. Does he try to cross the 42? Lines up the shot. Inside lane open. Does he run? He doesn't. He sticks with the outside lane back to 3.
This widens the gap for Burrows now. 3/10 between the top two as Basin has caught them both.
224, 225. Let this one go green so we could see the green flag cycle affect this race. Here comes Schmidt again to the inside lane. Mavic back to the middle. Anthony Burrows is scooting away, but for how long? Because there's still drivers left to go ahead and run with.
He's only 42 laps away from the 4-peat, but still he has to contest with Mavic, who's in 2nd, making up a little bit more time. Schmidt staying with him. Basin keeping pace. Top 4 all going for the win.
Mosteller back to 5th. Stanley Brower 6th, 7th, all lined in. How about Max Steinmeier and PBR have a day as Basin has ripped it back to that inside lane. William Schmidt wanted to drive off. You can just see that 42 sideways off corner exit.
And now down low, Basin going for the 3rd spot. Schmidt had a bad exit, and that's going to open the door for the Red Bull Toyota. Does he clear him off? No, he doesn't, because the 79 gets to run to the front.
Basin on the bottom, Schmidt on the outside, no contact necessary. And it's the Red Bull with the wings rolling forward into the top 3. Dylan Basin knocks one off, needs 2 to get it done.
Those wings are making him fly. He's up to 3rd, only 7/10 back. Now up towards the front, Mavic keeping pace with Burrows.
Mavic 2-9 back, Mavic 3 back. Burrows just wanting to go 4 in a row. Basin back to the inside lane. Schmidt back to the inside lane. Just barely touching that white line as they roll their way off corner exit.
Slowly but surely, they're making up a little more time on the leaders. but Mubik keeping about the same pace. They're all evenly spaced into one.
2-8 back. Anthony Burrows having a field day right now, wanting this one to go green because the strategy has been on his side all night long. 2-9 back, though. If Mubik performs another undercut, this one could check out. So keep an eye on it, because last time it was 2-9. The difference, we talked about him making up possibly half a second.
If that's the strategy, he just has to keep pace. Stay within about a half second to 7/10 back, and you might be able to do it. And he's doing just that. But Basin starting to fill up the rear bumper and mirror of that 42.
6-7 back, this time by 6-5, coming down off corner exit. You may even talk about a 6-3 as it's down the backstretch they roll. Mubik within a 3-2. Did Burrows tear the tires up? What a run back to 3.
And now only 2.5 or so the difference, but that was all on entry. Burrows seems to have a better exit now, and it's basically even at the line. The fast one, Basin, he's catching them both.
Kroenke back to 10th, Steinmeier back to 9th, let me rephrase that, 8th. Brower back in 6th, so William Schmidt in the 4th position. Down off corner exit, Ethan Stanley's back there in 7th, but 2-2 the difference for Braden Mubik and Anthony Burrows.
Basin is coming to half a second between the top 3 now. Schmidt keeping up with them, and Mosteller as well. But up front, the battle for the lead's heating up. 2/10 between them. Mubik is slowly chipping that lead away.
Has a 2-1, wants a 2 flat. Basin down to a 4-6. Schmidt a 9-2. Matthew Brower back to 6. Ethan Stanley back in 7th. You still see William Schmidt back in 4th, just sliding it down off corner exit.
You do. You see that now. Schmidt has a bit of a gap. Basin now trying to go down to the bottom, as Mubik now is a 1-7, 1-6 is the difference. He's making up time on Burrows.
He's got him. 15 back, looking 14 back. What do you do if you're Basin? Do you get the 2-for-1 special? Burrows may have to yield. Mubik is there. 2 Chevys and a Toyota back to 1 and 2.
Mubik keeps it a little off the wall. Diamond, or the bottom, Diamond's the corner, and that gets him the exit off. He keeps pace with Burrows. Now down to 3 and 4 is where he's made up a lot of room before, and he makes up even more now.
Time running out. What's the game plan? What's the move? The Toyota Basin is there. Mubik wants to go for the lead, but he may have to defend. Chops once, locks it down low. 233 at 267.
That 83 is coming like a bat out of Haiti, and now he is down to the bottom right behind Mubik. Mubik now trying to keep pace with Burrows. He's gonna do just that.
19 back, 20 back, Basin to the inside, wheel to wheel, still trying to go ahead and get it done. There's the drive, there's the send, he locks it in. Dylan Basin and Red Bull into P2 here for Chicagoland.
And he's got him cleared. Now he sets his sights on Burrows. 2.5 the difference, a quarter second between them. Down to 1. Is he gonna take a different line? Nope, he follows in his tire track.
Burrows downstairs. What do you do with the drivers on the hard charge behind you? Here comes Mubik looking to the inside, wanted the swipe, but the swipe won't work. It's Toyota on the move, back to 3 and 4.
Now they're about even with where they were before. Just switch the 83 and the 42, but that 83 has a run now. 1-5, 1-4. He's coming as they get to the line.
This ain't over. Crowd on their feet. Less than 35 laps to go. Basin has lined it on in. Burrows is now going to have to defend on every end. He's going to be mirror driving these final laps off corner exit.
The 83 has the exit there. Now less than a 10th between them. Goes down low. He's looking for the lead. Side by side for the lead with 32 to go.
Sends it in deep. Is it enough for a slide job? Can't get that rear end rolling. Burrows has to drive off corner exit to lock in the lead right back. Wheel to wheel to the line. Toyota may get him, but Burrows with the advantage to 1.
Now getting into 1. Burrows looks high. He's going to try and pin the 83 down, but Basin might have enough. But Burrows gets the run. It might open the door for Mubik.
Here comes Mubik in the 42. Here comes Burrows looking to the inside. Basin goes wide. Burrows downstairs. The send, the heave, the 42 to the outside. Still 3 under a blanket.
Basin's going to clear him. No, but the run is coming.
He's got a pit road.
And he's got to woe it down.
I think he got it. You still got 30 to go this time by. That's perfect. You're going to get past you. Might as well pit now.
And you're seeing others who have pitted too that are further back as well. So The strategies are flying now. Mavic trying to put the pressure now on Basin.
Lined up 1-2. Schmidt back to third. Mosteller back and forth. Brower back in fifth. Now Braden Mavic trying to get it done. And the body armor machine. Here comes Basin. Walks into pit road. Braden Mavic, new race leader.
And he's going to lead over Schmidt and Stanley. Looks like the top three so far have stayed out. More might follow. That's Kroenke staying out. Carr and Jeffries.
Well, they're lined back up. We can catch our breath for a matter of moments because we got to figure out where they come off the pit road. Dylan Basin is in. Where is Anthony Burrows? He's just coming on out. Slid a little bit. That could cost him a 10th. Maybe less, maybe more. He's working his way down the backstretch. Basin is going to have to go ahead and get those right sides up. He does. But the question now is, what about Mavic? Do you stay out? He does.
He stays out more. Now only 28 to go. 83 is out. Where's he go compared to Burrows?
Burrows is going to beat him off pit road.
How much? It's going to be close.
It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. No, not close enough. Anthony Burrows. That's going to be about a second and some change in between him and the 62.
Now, where does Mavic go in equate
Staying
all
out
this?
really long.
No, he's
coming
pitting.
in. Yeah, he's coming in this time. This time, get it all yelled out.
No
Slows
yellow.
it down. He's good.
No yellow this time.
Into the pit stall.
So Schmidt's the leader as we run now. Kroenke and Jeffries staying out longer. Looks like Todriff and Barry might be trying it too. At least Todriff.
And we know Basin's good at making up time. Now you got to keep an eye on that. He is behind, but he's not exactly out of it. Lined up in front of him, Max Steinmeier. That will be for position.
Top four probably just trying to play the long haul here to stay out, hope for a caution, pin a few guys a lap down. Here it is. This is the one who will probably be the leader, Burrows. How's he going to compare to Mavic off? He already passed him.
Yeah, he got him easily. Mavic's going to have 2 laps, fresher tires. Basin tried that exact strategy before, and he made up time. The thing is, though, is there time left for the 42? This Red Bull is going to have to fight the good fight because that 62 machine of Dylan Basin, well, let me rephrase that, of Anthony Burrows, is got to make it wide. Back through 3 and 4, we will have a dogfight for the win.
Yes, we will. Now still, the 57 and 54 have stayed out trying to push it longer. How does that equate into it? Is there a caution that comes out? Right now, the distance between Burrows and Basin is roughly a second.
Trying to go ahead and get something working here late. What a race we have had tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway. It has been a masterful drive for some, an amazing ride for others, and for Dylan Basin, he just needs this to go green because who's right there? Anthony Burrows, and he's got about a second and more in between him.
That's the difference. That's the difference between provisional lead as we run. That 62 and that 83.
Continue watching on. 242 and 267. Here we go. 25 laps to go as Zach Todger took it to the line. We're watching provisional lead right now, the 62. Oh, Jerry, he's catching him. He is so catching him. This is not over. Oh, he's to the wall! I think he's good though, but you gotta wonder what that went ahead and scrubbed off.
He got a little too greedy on that one, and it might have cost him. A second, that's the difference. Maybe a little under a second. He's still fast. He still's got speed, and the 62's coming up on lap traffic.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. I wouldn't be surprised if I get a noise complaint about how we've been today. It's been a great race. That's how you know it's been a great race.
It's been worthy of one so far. Barry is staying out on this run, so he will not be a factor in this race. The battle is between the 2 cars, one in front, one behind him, the 62 and the 83.
Barry, there he is on the outside lane. Basin, a blink, he will be back. He all lines it back in. Just a quick internet issue, maybe more. There he is. Scared us for a moment, but with 24 laps to go, the Red Bull still has a chance. You're under half a second back to 3 and 4.
Now a half second. He's getting gentler in. Now gets aggressive through the corner for 10s. Closing in more. You can visually see the lead eroding away.
Yeah, it's coming back. 23 laps remaining for Anthony Burrows. What a drive it has been. What a ride it has been for Dylan Basin. 400 miles, and it comes down to this coming off corner exit.
He is flying now. 23 to go down the back. Burrows only with about a 2/10 lead over the 83.
This is what it comes down to, a whole season. winding down right here, down to the inside. Burrows, little sideways off corner exit. Basin is there, crowd on their feet one more time.
Now what Burrows needs to try is just to hold him back long enough until the tires wear away. Right now, 2/10, but it's closing quick. The 83 is flying.
Hey, he's got something here. Basin's got the fresher tires by just one lap, but that Toyota will not be denied. Does Burrows make it wide? Does Basin duck it to the bottom? Burrows is going to fall in line downstairs.
Coming to 21 laps to go now. Burrows, the Department of Defense, while Basin on full attack.
He's mirror driving him. He's keeping him behind. Basin looking again. You see right on nose. Back to 1 and 2.
Back behind them, Mosteller has passed Barry for third, but we don't look at that because the fight for the lead is only heating up more. Looking up top, Burrows shuts the door. Basin goes low, doesn't have enough.
Here he comes, down to 3 and 4. Basin downstairs. Burrows looks to squeeze. They keep it wheel to wheel. Chevy versus Toyota off corner exit. Anthony Burrows gets to drive the gap back to a 2.
Basin might have to lap this time, might be too close to call. It is down into the corner. Basin up top, or down low. Burrows up top. Burrows trying to just pin him down with 20 laps.
He's going to have to drive it in deep if he wants the inside lane to work. Burrows to drive off is able to maintain the lead, but Basin still will not give in. Another drive down in. It's back to wheel. Toyota versus Chevy. No one's going to change here. All on their feet coming to 19 to go.
Still side by side, but now Basin has the advantage coming to the line. Burrows getting the run up top. Into 1. He's going to try it all over again. This might be all she wrote.
You can see Burrows trying to squeeze him down there. Basin's just holding on. He might have an opportunity off corner exit. Trying to squeeze in front of the Chevrolet.
Almost contact on the backstretch. Dead even again into the corner. Basin trying to clear him off. Has a nose for Burrows though. Getting off, they're still side by side.
Burrows will not go down. It will not go away quietly into the Chicago night. It's 18 to go with 17 next time by. Lap machine gets out of the way, still wheel to wheel.
That lap car might have cost him on the entrance, but still they keep it even. Basin has the run off the bottom, but not enough to clear.
You can see Mavic has now gained in 3 seconds. Keep an eye on it if they stay wheel to wheel. Burrows will not give this one up. Basin's been fighting for 3 or 4 laps straight, and that Toyota just gets the drive down off, but not enough will get away from the bow tie. 17 to go, back to the line.
Burrows keeping his nose there has kept him in this fight now. Dead even side by side through 1 and 2. Exiting the corner, Burrows has the lead again, and Basin almost gets into it.
Oh, they're sideways coming off corner exit, but it's still no give up front. Back to 3 and 4. Basin with the heave. Burrow with the contest on the outside lane. Rolls to center well. Rolls it off exit. Anthony Burrows holds on to the lead.
Still side by side to the line now, but Burrows is gaining on Basin slowly but surely. Almost cleared him into 1. Now Basin pulls aside of him again.
Basin downstairs. Can Burrows just clear him? Can't get it done. Basin of the Red Bulls got the run back off. Toyota, Chevrolet, wheel to wheel. Mavic down to the 2-5. He's closing on in. This could be a 3-horse race. Bason's going to clear. He's going to clear him off board. What about Burrows downstairs?
Tries to pull the crossover. Can't do it, but now he has his nose there. But he has the unpreferred line down on the bottom. Now Basin has the high side. Burrows down low. They're even again.
He's going to go ahead and send it. Basin may squeeze, might not need to. This Red Bull has been absolutely perfect all night long. There he goes, and he's going to say goodbye with 15 to go.
15 laps left, coming to 14 to go. The distance, only 2/10 between them. Burrows trying to mount a charge again, but Basin has the speed.
15 laps to go. Does Braden Mavic have what it takes to run him down? He's on fresher tires than both. Burrows here back to second. Basin with a blink out, back to 1 and 2.
Yeah, he has that blink out. It's scary with 14 laps left, but he has the lead as we run, and he's slowly but surely pulling away from the 62.
This may be, and I'm going to say it in front of 400 plus watching live, the greatest iRacing race ever held on this channel, because it's still not done. 13 to go. He almost got on the wall.
He did. Just a little bit.
And Burrows has got the momentum back on his side, back to a 2.7. We know how important momentum is in these cars.
That razor's edge is so so close that if you just step over it, it loses you even more. Now Burrows getting the door open just a little bit to stay with Basin, but Basin had a huge runoff.
This isn't over. Mubbick back to a 2-4, and he's closing on in even more. Half a second, Burrows may be out of the question for a 4-peat, but what a drive it has been. 12 to go as Basin may have tore those tires up, heading back to 1.
Well, Basin still is starting to pull away a little bit, but we've seen him a few times tonight run it up into that wall and lose a ton of time. That's what Burrows has to be hoping and praying for, but Burrows is fading.
Schmidt back to 4th, Mubbick back to 3rd. Anthony Burrows, for the first time in a long time, may not be the favorite to go ahead and win this race. Mubbick down in a 2-4. He may also now not be the favorite. Sticks on the board with 11 to go for the Red Bull.
And he's getting further and further away from that 62. Now, almost 0.8 of a second. Burrows tries to dive it in each corner, just letting her all hang out.
Anthony Burrows back to an 8-5, 8-6, 8-7, goodbye. Mubbick lined up down the backstretch, 2-5, 2-5-7, see ya. He may be out of the question. 10 more laps, it has to be perfect because we know that 83 has handling issues.
9/10, almost a full second now with 10 laps to go. This is Basin's race to lose.
9-7 back. Burrows may be under grass for a second. The 83 of Basin. What a drive it has been. Michigan was the favorite to win. Wrecked out after 2 lap machines got into it. Had a fight and claw from the back to the front to have a shot at winning this race. 9 to go this time by.
And well over a second. He has plenty of room to play with. He doesn't need to force anything now. 9 laps left. 1-1 the difference between first and second.
Joey Stone back to 9th, have a night. Max Steinmeier back to 8th, have a night. Daniel Mosteller 9 laps away before being crowned the first ever champion of the NR Cup Series. How about Carr? How about Barry trying to end this one off? What a season it has been. And right now, it looks nothing but the wings of the Red Bull up front. He's coming to pit road!
Oh!
He's coming to pit road! Oh, no way. He didn't fill it up all the way. Here comes Burrows to take back the lead.
Burrows might just close out this 4-peat. 1-4, the difference between he and Mubbick. Mubbick not making up enough time.
But I don't know. 1-3 back. Does Burrows have enough? Are we under a fuel lottery?
He's down low. Burrows is
I don't know. That is wow. You can't be serious.
What happened there? Why was he not able to stay out?
Dylan Basin had this race locked up, and now the question of Burrows for a 4-peat comes back into question. Does he have enough fuel?
Are they all still?
I thought they should be okay.
Yeah, based on the way that the fuel window had been, or is everyone just trying to make it to the end on fuel somehow? Let's see Burrows this time. He's gonna stay out.
Mubbick's closing on in with 6 to go. This looked to go ahead and be a lock-in. Braden Mubbick, 110 back. Does he have the speed to catch him?
Oh, he's flying up there. He's only a second back now. The difference is closing in. Now it's looking to be under a second down the backstretch, or at least at it.
This ain't over. We've seen races won and lost within the final 5 laps before. Anthony Burrows has got it locked on the bottom. Braden Mubbick trying to close on in. 5 to go this time.
Now Burrows starting to pull a little bit away. Maybe he was saving. Maybe he was saving his tires or fuel, and now it's been let go. But Mubbick, again, he's aggressive into the corners, and he's making up time now. Only a second between the leaders.
Had to get around the lap machine. That was Zach Todriff. 1 down. See ya. Still 1 back. Didn't gain time that time by, but he has the speed to get to Anthony Burrows. He's just riding that inside lane. Burrows has been an interesting one to watch, but time is running out. 4 to go with 9 to difference.
4 laps left for Burrows to hit the 4-peat. the first ever in the NR Cup Series. Now, only an 8.5 the difference. Mubik is making up ground, entering the corner, but it looks like Burrows is maintaining exit.
Unbelievable. What a turn of events tonight. Anthony Burrows, 9.7 the difference of the lead. Was an 8, trying to just make it back. 3 laps to go this time by.
And 3 laps to go as well for Daniel Mosteller back in the 6th spot. Bason's going to fly up, but he has no factor whatsoever in this race. Just wants to get a lead lap finish. Less than 3 to go for Burrows. 4-Pete, less than 3 to go for Mosteller's championship.
Unbelievable. What a night it has been. Bason, if I'm not mistaken, undercut the 62 of Burrows last time on pit road. Heading to 3 and 4 with just 2 laps to go of the season. Mubik 1 second back. No change. Burrows back to the line, 2 to go.
And Burrows is maintaining. There's no gain anymore from Mubik. It is just a round 1 to 1-1 is the difference between them. He might get a little under, he might get a little over, but Burrows is strong to the backstretch.
I'm telling you, something's up. This does not look right. I know that 42 could close in. We've seen him get under. I still think there's concern.
I don't know, but because we're coming to the white flag this time by coming to the final lap of the season.
Let's sound it off. Sablanka, 1 to go from Chicagoland. Is it a 4-peat for Burrows? Is it going to be the second win this season for Braden Mubik? Final time to 1 and 2.
Final time through turn 2. Probably the most difficult turn on the track. Down the backstretch, though. He's down low. Is he out of fuel? He's out of fuel!
He's out!
Is Mubik? Mubik's not gaining.
Yes, he
is! Mubik's coming to the line. Burrows out of fuel.
Can he make it back? 6 back, maybe 5. Just trying to get to the line. Anthony Burrows. Is he going to make it?
Oh!
Anthony Burrows just beat Braden Mubik to the line. Victorious from Chicagoland.
And Daniel Mosteller is your 2023 NR Cup Series champion with a 6th place run. We gotta see, well wait, no, the 62's out of gas, so we won't see a dual burnout.
We will not. Unbelievable, what a race. That's the greatest iRacing race I think we've ever seen.
Mubik was so close at the finish. Burrows, we knew something couldn't have been right, but here are the 2 winners of the night.
Unbelievable. NR Night in America, feeling victories all year long. That's how you end a season.
With a great finish, a great championship to the end, and burn it down, Daniel Mosteller. You are the first champion of the NR Cup Series, and, well, as for Burrows, burn down the fumes.
I'm going to let you know, to the almost 450 watching live, if you enjoyed this race, drop a like, subscribe, because we will have more great races like this in the future.
Yeah, August 22nd this year.
NWP 400.
NWP 400.
And that will be our biggest event of the year.
Biggest, baddest event of the season. Of 2023, I should say. Wow. I need to take a breath.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what I just saw. You can't be serious. 3 the difference. I held my breath. I didn't even want to talk at the end.
It was so close. We got to see the replay. We got to see the replay. How close it was at the line. That was an amazing finish to what was a great and fun year. We see Mubik coming up to Mosteller here. Oh, so close, but bridesmaid on the night. Schmidt 3rd, Brower 4th, Stanley 5th, Demos your champion 6th, Steinmeier 7th, Joey Stone 8th, Carr in 9th, and Kroenke finishes out the top 10.
The Discord's losing it. They're losing it right now.
Oh, and he's jacking him up. He's going to take him back.
Unbelievable. A 4-peat in style. A champion in style. A perfect season for the 9. A rally for Burrows.
Who picked Burrows?
Who cares? This is going everywhere.
Burrows.
We got a YouTube short coming.
Oh, man. What a season.
I can't wait to talk with their winner.
I want to see the replay of just how close it was. Like at the line, how close it was, because it looked like, I think I have to imagine that was the closest finish we've had in this series. The first side-by-side finish to the line.
This was something out of a damn fairy tale. You can't be serious. I can't believe what I just saw.
Well, we got to talk to our champion and our winner.
Before we do that, the replay.
Yeah, we got
by far the replay, because we needed to see that thing go down again.
Go back a little bit.
This is the one to go. We're going to go into slow mode. Braden Movick, Anthony Burrows.
So you watch here, and you can see he's still under power getting off the corner, and this might be what won him the race. See, he gets loose. At this point, he's out. Or at least he thinks he's out. He's probably sputtering at this point. You see him wiggling the car around, and you see that silver car of Movick in the back. Wow.
And this is the only stream of the week, because I'm calling a race in Volusia this Saturday, live on Dirt Vision. This is going everywhere. I'm talking TikTok. I'm talking Instagram Reel. I'm talking YouTube Short. We got a YouTube Short coming out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I will point it out now.
So
unbelievable.
So if he's out and going slower, wiggling the car around, the only thing I can think of
there might have been something.
Did Movick run out and he just coasted faster, or like how exactly did that go? Because watch as they go to the line how close this is.
Now remember when I said something's up, because I knew Movick could have caught him.
Let's see right here.
Look, oh, you saw the, yes he did. He did go out. Look, watch the fire coming out of the pipe. He was coming out to Braden Movick could have won that race.
Pause it here. I want to see it pause right on the line. How close was this finish? God, man.
This is why Chicagoland needs to be back on the NASCAR Cup schedule.
Yes, I agree. And look at Burrows. He went down the track to hit the finish line sooner.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
You cannot ask for a better race. You cannot.
That is a mic drop finish to the season.
What a drive. What a night. Now let's go ahead and talk with your race winner and your champion to wrap it all up. Unbelievable. For the ones just tuning in, what a race you just missed. And for the ones that have been here all night, oh man, every single second was deserved. It has been unbelievable. The 4-peat for Anthony Burrows. Able to go to victory lane. Anthony Burrows, you are ridiculous. 4 in a row.
I got no words right now, man. That's
what
crazy.
Happened?
I thought I was good on fuel.
We all thought, everyone thought we were good on fuel.
What's up?
We all thought you were good on fuel. Now we saw Basin came down, and that's when we're like, oh no, something is up, right? Next thing we know, we see Movick's gaining 2/10 out of nowhere, but the way he gained it, we've seen enough races to know that he was saving too. Because he just gained 2/10 and lost 2/10. Walk me through the last 3 laps, because that was wild.
Yeah, I was under the impression I was good on fuel the whole time, and then got the alert from my spotter that I was a little short, so tried to save a little bit the last few laps, and I guess Movick was also short, so both started saving like crazy the last few laps. Barely had enough. I think he also ran out right as he got to me too, so yeah, it couldn't have been any closer than that. I have no words. That was the most insane finish I've ever had.
I'm in just shock right now. Do you want to say anything to anyone back at home?
Yeah, shout out to everyone who tuned in tonight. That was a super long race. Glad it was entertaining at the end. Yeah, I don't know. I'm speechless after that one.
That was the best iRacing race ever. I'm going to say it. I'll be the one to say it. That was by far the greatest iRacing NASCAR stock car race ever. And you got to go ahead and win it. Congratulations, my man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Now let's go ahead and talk with your champion, Daniel Mosteller. A perfect season, and it's all in your name. Walk me through it.
Gosh, that's over. Oh my gosh, I had butterflies in my stomach like the whole week. I don't know why, but Wow, nothing went wrong this season.
Clearly.
I'm flabbergasted. That's amazing. This ties my worst finish of the season. P6. I can't believe it.
This was just an unbelievable drive, an unbelievable ride. You can't get any more NR than that race right there. It was unbelievable. I can't wait to watch back on this one day. We'll have to watch back on it probably very, very soon anyways, to go ahead and get the content. You won the championship. What was going through your head during that race?
My goal was just to finish. I knew there was going to be a lot of dropouts. Usually these races get kind of chaotic, and we had 15 cars finish on the lead lap at the end. So I was just not really fighting anybody. I was just letting people go, lifting really early into the corners. And then I don't know what happened to Thurston. I think him and Champagne got into it, which that's kind of ironic. Champagne basically helped me win the championship. But yeah, just to everybody that raced the season, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot as a driver. I gained a lot of confidence as a driver. I mean, if you asked me before the season, I would have won the championship. I would have laughed at you. I didn't think I had this in me. Even after last race, I missed it. I thought I could have clinched it up there, but I had to make it a little more fun for everybody to give you all a good finale. But that was a fun race. I wasn't the fastest car, but I was able to stay in the top 10 like the whole race.
I'm just a loss for words of what we had today, and I'm glad you were a part of it. This season, consistent points. We wanted to award the best driver. You are the best driver. No matter how this season went, top, bottom, what a life, what a ride, what everything. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, 'cause I'm still stuck in cloud 9. Congratulations. You want to say to anyone back at home? Because you have a lot of supporters back at home.
Yeah, everybody rooting for me. Thank you. I had a lot of people betting on me to win. Didn't want to let y'all down. I want to thank Aiden Walker. He spotted me at Daytona and Talladega. We got that win at Talladega. We almost won Daytona. I want to thank Tyler Tinsley for making the 9 car, Coca-Cola Demos car, whatever you want to call it. He's been really busy as of late. Really, he paints everything for me. He's the best. Team TCB for the motors and the cars. I had to carry the team on my back. TCB really wasn't doing anything, but yeah, I can't believe it. We're champions.
And what a race. This car track combo. Do you love it? I love it.
Yeah,
I think every other person is in love with this. I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. Well, we're going to go ahead and interview Mr. TikTok right after this. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the driver that's going to be the bridesmaid, Braden Movick. Movick, you're P2, but I think everyone just became a fan of you. You know, you called yourself the People's Champ. Tonight, you lived up to it. What a race.
Oh, what can I say? You know, shit. Oh, I can't say that. I'm sorry. I started on the last row. I started last in this race because I choked my qualifying lap. But after like 20 laps, I was only like 34th. I was like, man, why am I out? It feels like I'm way higher than this. And then the tires started coming in. I went from last to, I think, what, 14th in the first 40 laps. And then I sped on pit road, which was really great. And then on that restart, after I sped on pit road, Carson Freeman right-reared Wilkerson into the turn 1, barely caught my ass. I smacked the outside wall backwards. Like I thought I was destroyed because like I lost my power steering in my wheel, so I didn't have any force feedback for the rest of the race after that.
This is the greatest car track combo ever.
Oh, yeah, I told you, Chicagoland is great.
Oh, we know it's great. He's back on the NASCAR schedule. O'Donnell, what are you doing?
I was up against the turn 1
Let's get it
wall
back.
backwards.
2024.
And
unbelievable.
So just come back from that. I had damage, and then there was an absolute behemoth of a wreck entering the pits that everyone missed somehow.
Oh my gosh, I just got a great message. I'm so sorry. I hate to cut you off. Remember how you said we should host we should host an event called the Great American iRace. I think that was foreshadowing to what this was, because this will be remembered as the Great American iRace.
Yeah, I had to do it for Nick, you know. I had to do it for Max Singer. I had to do it for them. Put on the Great American iRace, put on a show. But yeah, after that, I had like 2 minutes damage, fixed it all under 2 cautions, and then I was about to basically miss this restart, that when the restart wreck happened. And then cut through the field, 14th, up to the top 5, and then right as I enter pit road to try to do a different strategy, because I realized, I mean, I'm not going to win, so try something else here. I cross the line as a yellow comes out, I become the leader, led like, what, 30-something laps, something like that, and then threw it in, grazed the wall a little bit, and then, yeah, I mean, I was holding touch with Dylan and Anthony for a while there, and then again, I tried to pit 2 laps later because the tire's really important here, but I put a little too much gas in it for my liking, so I wasn't able to kind of lift off and save a little bit. So, yeah, at the end, I was closing in. I was like 5 seconds back when the run started, 20-something to go, and then got to 1 second, started to hover there because I was realizing I was getting really close, so I had to save a little bit. And then I was just closing in little by little, and I saw him wiggling, and he said, because we were in VC together, he said, and then he just went to the bottom, on the back, and then into 2, I saw I was like, I was 0.2 of a lap, 0.2, 0.3 of a lap, entering 3 on the final lap. He runs out, and when I'm like 2 car lengths behind him, I ran out too. So the momentum just wasn't enough. But man, yay Anthony Burrows, finished second to him the second time. Even fought through some adversity at the end, but yeah, I mean, me, Anthony, Dylan, Schmidt, we all just proved why Chicagoland is the best track on the service, as usual.
Amen to that.
And, yeah, and yeah, that was a really fun race. Probably the most fun race of the season from my point.
Well, we'll forever call this the Great American iRace. That's what I'm calling it, forever. I might have to rename the title of the stream to the Great American iRace, because you cannot, I'm looking at Jarrett right now, you cannot get any better than that. I mean, every single lap.
It was really fun.
Yeah,
Chicagoland is one of those tracks where you can run all over
I don't know what to say, man.
I still don't know what to say.
Speechless.
Run all over the place. It's really fun. Really
you know, when you
great.
think
Lots
finale, you think big. You think blockbuster, you know, ecstatic. This was like Avengers Endgame. Off the rails. Did you run out of gas going to the start finish line?
Yeah, I ran out 2.5 car lengths before I got to him.
2.5 car lengths before he got to me, ran out. And we
Yep,
saw
I
that
ran
fight.
out right as
That
I got-
was the
like, right before I
difference.
got to him.
That was the difference.
I was digging hard off the damn wall.
Yeah,
bro.
you had that dog in you, bro. You were rolling.
Man, if I would have known I was gonna run out as I got to him, because I would have beat him if I didn't run out, I was gonna beat him on the outside. If I would have known I was gonna run out right there, I would have sent it through the grass.
Well, we're gonna say goodbye for now, because we're gonna have to go ahead and wrap this up, and can't wait for this to download. I'm not going to bed, so I know this thing is completely downloaded, because we have a lot of content to make tomorrow. So thank you, Mr. TikTok, for once again making another YouTube short. Hopefully this one gets also 35,000 views. We'll be uploaded tomorrow.
What can I say? This is just authentic Braden Mubek entertainment.
It's
what I do.
It really is. Well, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Mr. Mubek, but you know what? Way to make this season entertaining. That's all we have to go ahead and say. Congratulations on a great season.
Again, bring the excitement. That's what I do. That's what I like to do.
Well, the lighting kind of changed up. I think I moved around just a little bit, but what a race. What a night it has been. Champion has been crowned. A race that will be remembered for a long time, and we're going to make sure they remember this one. This is going to go on. I'm making sure we send this into iRacing, so it goes on iRacing's tops, whatever they do.
Oh my gosh.
Let's wrap up the season. Let's go ahead and recap. We started Daytona with a bang.
Yes.
And yes, it was a bang. Literally to win the race.
Well, yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, we had Daytona. We had the controversial finish at Daytona. I'm making sure I have the schedule right, so I do this right. We had the controversial finish at Daytona with the last lap, giant field-ending, race-ending crash with Cootie winning. We have Atlanta with an amazing finish in that one, dueling throughout the finish. We have Darlington, which we think is Wyatt Tinsley's race, and then turns into anyone's race and had the greatest comeback we thought we would ever see. We had the Fairgrounds, which had a great finish between Thurston and Demos, who we would find out being the top 2 guys for the championship this season, going for it, going for broke at the end. We got one hot night at Charlotte. We got Talladega, where Demos becomes Brian Vickers. Bristol, the absolute insanity of that one too. Indianapolis. And I might add that starting at Bristol, Burrows goes on his insane run. Same with Michigan with the fuel lottery. And we think, wow, we can't beat that fuel lottery. That was crazy. There's no way. Oh yeah, this race happens and we have the closest finish of the season right at the end. That is how, if I could drop this mic, I would drop it.
What a season. What a ride. What a championship fight. And it couldn't all have been done if it wasn't for you. The drivers, the viewers. Wow. You know what? I don't think words can describe what we just saw. But at the end of the day, it was nothing short of absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we say thank you. We're going to wrap this one up, and we hope to see you tomorrow night on the NWP. Hope you see that YouTube short tomorrow on my channel. And I hope to see you all live on Dirt Vision this Saturday night at Volusia Speedway, as I will be calling the action, my first ever dirt race I'll be calling. I call race at the National Fairgrounds Speedway. If you don't already know, you can watch that live on Racing America. Great things to come. And it's all thanks to you all. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. And this will wrap up the 2023 season of the NR Cup Series.